Hello and welcome to a preview show ahead of the Nike FC Cup final. I'm Pakil Frimpong and I'm lucky enough to be joined by Nick Dabano to preview the game between the FC Bulleen Lions and the Preston Lions here at the home of the Matildas on Sunday the 4th of August. Nick, it's a big game between these two sides. What do you expect from it?
It's going to be a huge contest. I mean, the top two teams in NPLW heading into this weekend as well. It's such a busy time of the season for both these two teams when you think about trying to prioritise the cup, but also the league, the opportunity to, perhaps get in the minds of, the other team going into that game in a week's time as well. But it's so big. There's so many different sort of sub-storylines going on here. When you think about Bulleen's sort of history in cup finals, you think about the fact that, they haven't won a Nike FC Cup final in the past. You think about what Preston's been able to do they've had a busy year on and off the field for both their men's and women's programs, so it's an exciting year for the both of them. But perhaps a little teaser of what might come later in the year as well in finals. It
is, Nick, and both sides, as you touched on, they are doing really well in the league at the moment, sitting 1 and 2 in the competition. But this game, when we look at it, they faced off against each other previously back in May. It was Bulleen who got the win, 2-0 winners, courtesy of probably an early goal that maybe determined how the game was going to go. Do you think that plays anything into this matchup in the final?
Yeah, Bakura, it's going to be a fascinating matchup. I mean, we saw how these two teams played earlier this year. That really interesting 2-0 game at BT Connor Reserve that Bulleen won. I mean, this is going to be an interesting game because you look at Bulleen's history in the Cup. They haven't won a Cup final since that 2014 win against South Melbourne. They've lost 4 finals since then. They've lost grand finals as well. So there's a bit riding on this. They don't want to feel that pain again of, getting so close, but, still so far at the same time. Preston, on the other hand, have been a great story this year. Missed finals last year, but have really come up the ladder. They've had a very, very interesting cup run as well. Some real roller coaster games in there, and they're flying. They're scoring a lot of goals, and I can't wait to see how these two teams fare on the weekend.
They're certainly scoring a lot of goals, Nick, and that's something that's continued for Bulleen throughout this cup competition. They have only conceded 1 goal so far, and that was against Alamein. And you think about how this game plays out, it feels like if Bulleen are able to just hold on defensively and shut Preston out as they've done for most sides throughout this competition, they probably walk into that game maybe as favourites.
I think so. I think when you look at their league form, they're 6 points clear of Preston on top of the table in that race for the premiership right now. And you look at when they played each other last, Bulleen took the lead within the opening minute through Alana Cordolino, and then they were able to sit back, get comfortable, really dictate proceedings and frustrate Preston on a pitch that has a comparable size as well here to home of the Matildas. It's a big pitch at BT Connor Reserve. They're able to slow it down and not let Preston sort of get, rolling. Because when the Preston train gets rolling and they start scoring goals, they can score heavily. So I think that if this game stays low scoring, it sort of suits Bulleen. But the fascinating subplot is how do they manage the injuries? They've got a few players that are walking wounded. So I'm interested to see who gets up for this weekend and sort of how Caitlin Friend works around that.
They are the walking wounded, Bulleen, but they've got somebody who's coming back, and that's Maya Markowski. She's been in phenomenal form this season and sitting second, I believe, in the Golden Boot race at the moment throughout the competition. Obviously, on the other side, for Preston, they've also been dominating. Ellie Lamont has been scoring goals. How big a factor do you think those players are going to play in this game?
Well, I think Maya's massive. I mean, we've seen how good of a season she's had. Her first full season at Bulleen after coming along mid-year last season. She's been massive for them, and she came back last week. She scored a brace against Bentley. She was huge for them. You look at on Preston on the other side there. I mean, Ellie Lamont, Hayley Johnson. They've got so many great attacking players in that team, and they scored 7 of themselves the other night, but they had 5 different goal scorers, which is, quite an amazing sort of testament to the array of players that can cause damage, because so I'm really interested to see how it plays out, because they're going to play again in a week's time as well in what is almost like another cup final in the league. So, it's going to be I think this is going to be an ongoing rivalry that we start to see between the two Lions.
And that's what we want, because these two are, such big clubs throughout Victorian football. I've got to ask, Nick, when you're looking at this game, and what is the key for Preston to win this game? Because, Dan Foden, we've seen him today and he's feeling pretty confident about his side. But what do you think for Preston they have to do in order to shut down a really great defensive Bulleen team?
I think what they've got to do is they can't afford to concede early. They've got to make sure that they can dictate and really hit early for themselves and really make sure that they're not the ones chasing, because we know how good Bulleen are. Once they take the lead, they don't, lose that lead at all. They are so resilient. They are so strong defensively right from front to back. So I think Preston are going to have to try and make this game as chaotic as possible. Because I think if it's chaos, I think it suits Preston. But conversely, if you're looking at it from a Bulleen perspective, what do you think they need to do to be able to keep Preston at bay, especially with all those attacking options they have?
I think Bulleen, if they start games really well, they win games. And if they score, when they score early, teams find it very, very difficult to break them down. They're quite good in their entire shape as a side, and they've got a lot of familiar faces this season that have allowed them to stabilise. And Isabel de Harkis at the moment has been out in recent weeks, but they've got the likes of Liam O'Deary and Bullich in that defensive line that have been really, really good. So I think the key for Bulleen is starting strong and not allowing Preston to make the game chaotic, as you've mentioned, because if it goes like that, I think Bulleen, it favours them in this final.
Well, I think the fascinating part of this is sort of, Bulleen this year, they've taken a bit of a different approach to how they've built their squad. I mean, last year they had a plethora of players come back from A-League Women's duty that came in, like your Alana Janchevskis, your Paige Zois, Speedy Goat, etc. But this year they've really built around the squad from day one and had a few players come back. We saw Paige Zois come back. She's now injured. We've seen Beatty Goat and Tiffany Eliades come back from playing overseas.
And an Alana Murphy cameo. I'm still wondering about that Alana Murphy cameo.
So a bit of a fascinating sort of squad build, but they've been sort of united from day one with a really sort of key core to this side that has seen them through from day one all the way through to here. Preston, they've brought in a few really, really talented players in that mid-season window. Emma Checker, Susan Fonsong-Cam, Jamila Rankin. So I'm really fascinated to see how they both deal with that, because there's so much talent on the field. It can't disappoint. This is going to be such a great game. It
really is going to be a great game. And both you and I are going to be here at the home of the Matildas at 3 o'clock on Sunday, the 4th of August here. And if you want to come down to continue your weekend of football, I know you're going to go to the Doherty Cup on Saturday. On Sunday, you're going to be at the home of the Matildas. Head to the FV website. You can get tickets there. Anybody under the age of 12, tickets are free. So I don't really know what else you're going to be doing with the rest of your weekend. But we're going to take a quick break. And on the other side, we're going to chat to Al Talevski and Alana Byrne. And we are lucky enough to be joined by Preston Lions defender Al Talevski and the FC Bulleen Lions midfielder Alana Byrne, here to chat ahead of the Nike SC Cup final. Obviously, I guess the first and most important question is, how are you guys feeling ahead of this final?
We're feeling very excited. There's obviously a bit of nerves going into the final because it is a first for majority of our team, but we are very excited and pumped going into Sunday.
For us, we're stoked. A lot of us in the last couple of years have obviously been in this position before, but there's also a lot of new faces in our team that haven't, and there's all that excitement there. So, we're G'd for it.
So obviously haven't played each other since earlier this year. Obviously a very different sort of game, I guess, for the both of you guys. What sort of lessons do you take out of that going into the weekend? Is there anything different? Is it more of the same? What do you guys think?
I think, we did cop an early goal, a very early goal, when we played Bulleen last. So I think we need to be a bit more switched on as soon as the whistle goes. But we prep the same like we do every other week. We kind of do the same principles we do each week,
same for us. Obviously, we had a really good game against them last time, so we're definitely going into this game this weekend taking on those notes, but also adapting to a different, probably technical squad now, because you guys have been playing really well recently. We're going to bring that passion that we've brought through this whole season.
I think, Alana, you touched on it a little bit about how Bulleen have been in finals, in recent years. And I guess for you, Preston, you guys haven't been there so often. Does it feel like, the experience is going to help you guys? And do you feel that, Al, that the fact that you haven't been in the final just is a little bit less pressure heading into the game?
I think the calibre of players we have, they bring a lot of experience, even though Preston is a new side. Preston have showed that they can win trophies. They've done it in the VPL, and I have no doubt that they can do it in the MPL. But like I said, we do have a lot of experienced players that have played at high level, so they do bring a lot of experience. But it still does bring some nerves because it is still our first time making it to the grand final. We've made a lot of finals over the last couple of years, and we've always been in the top as well, but sadly we've always fallen short. But I just think that brings a different edge to us this year, with a lot of us being in the squad last year. There's definitely a lot of heart there, and a lot of us do. I know for myself, I really want a final win. So hopefully, bring that home this weekend.
Does it feel any different to last year? Like, I mean, as you said, you played in so many big games last year. You guys won the premiership as well last year in a very similar position now. Does it feel any different or more the same?
Feels natural.
Yeah.
It does feel a bit different. The squad this year is a lot different to last year's squad. The culture's amazing this year, and I think that's going to give us a really good edge when it comes to this week, because there's just so much love, passion, connectivity, just so much heart there in our squad. And I think we're all really, really eager to play. And there's a lot of respect as well for Preston, because you guys are a really good team as well. So, yeah.
Who sort of leads that? You spoke about culture. Who sort of sets the bar for you guys, like in terms of sort of pushing that along? Because from the outside looking in, it seems like there's really good vibes around both Bulleen and even at Preston as well. I guess touch on that. I guess give us a bit of an insight into it.
I think obviously the older players in the team lead it, but it's definitely also the young ones being eager to join in on that culture. We've just got a very open squad this year, and it's honestly like a family. Like, we hang out outside of soccer, we have laughs at training. Katie gets in on the banter, and just the whole squad, the whole team, even like the people behind the scenes as well. That's a really core part of like our team and like the culture.
This Preston Lions side have, changed a lot throughout the season. Started the year with a lot of familiar faces and a lot of new ones as well, but you guys have kept on adding new faces. How has that changed the team throughout the year in terms of the connectivity with the squad and just the vibes all around?
Yeah, I think we started off with an amazing team, like same as what Alana said, our team has a lot of heart. The culture's probably one of the best that I've had the privilege of being around, and we all get along. There's no groups within our team. Everyone's, like Alana said, also everyone's in on the banter. Dan's always in on the banter. We bring a core value, which is like family. Preston's all about family, and our team definitely brings that. We have added players, in the transfer windows, as the same as every other team, and they've slotted in perfectly. Honestly, they bring a level of experience as well, which is great to have. I play alongside Emma Checker, and it's not every day you get to play alongside a player like that. So, I think the players that have come in, they've brought in a level of experience, and they're very talented as well. Yeah,
Al, I guess sort of speaking about Preston as a whole, it's been a very exciting year for the club, all around with the buzz that's been going on with them. I guess, what's it been like to be part of that, seeing the groundswell of support around the club this year?
Yeah, this is my first season at Preston, so Preston, goes way back in my family. Coming from a Macedonian background, we've always known about Preston, but Preston's just grown over the years. I think the women's team has never been as big as what it has been now, and it's great to see the support that we have. It keeps on growing, and I think it's only going to get better with the years going on. Yeah.
Alana, I think it'd be remiss not to touch on the injuries that have gone on with your side this season. It's every single week I look, Bulleen are still winning games, but there's another player out. How has that, affected the way this season has gone, and how have you guys been able to be consistent even with all those injuries?
I think the beauty of our team this year is that we actually have a really good, core base team, and I think a lot of teams in the league don't have that. And I'm just going off like a passing comment from last year. I know a coach said once about Katie, and I think one thing about Katie is something I think she's under-acknowledged as a coach. Being a young coach in her career as well, she's always been in the top. And I think one comment that was made last year was that she relies heavily on A-League players. Now, if you look at our team this year, there's none, or there might be one or two. But I think we have such a good core base team that, we might have suffered an injury here and there, but we have players that are young but can rise to that level of calibre as the rest of the team. And I think, although at times it has been stressful, obviously losing a player here and a player there, we've kind of been consistent because the level's there and the style of football is there with our club. So, we've copped a bunch of injuries, but it hasn't, stressed us out or put us down. I think, if anything, it's made the other girls in the team rise. So, yeah.
Does it feel a bit strange that you guys play each other, I guess, 2 weeks apart from each other in such big games? Like, it's a cup final and it's like almost another cup final a week later.
Oh, definitely. Like, it's a bit annoying because you're like, oh, got to verse Preston again. But, yeah, it is what it is, I guess. You can't really say anything about it. I've got to see her head again, so, yeah.
You obviously, Alana, for you as well, you're such a big part of this Bulleen team, as the holding midfielder. Am I right to say that you are the holding midfielder for Bulleen? I feel like that's the way you operate. You see so much of the game, but one of the players up in front is Maya Markowski, who returned on the weekend, has been in tremendous form. And you guys, both your sides, of goal scoring has been something that you've been very comfortable doing this year. How big of an impact do you think she's going to have in that game?
Major. I think Maya's having such a good year. I'm very, very proud of her. She's such a core player, and she's just one of those players that you can heavily rely on, and she brings such a skill set to the team. And I think she's one of those players that you can definitely feel the impact if she's not there. But, yeah, I think it's going to be good for her to finally, this final, I think she's definitely got her eyes set on it. So, yeah, I think she's going to kill it this weekend.
From an attacking perspective, Al, I mean, this year you guys have scored so many goals. Like, you scored 7 last weekend as well. I mean, what do you guys put that down to? Because obviously Hayley Johnson's been in great form and Ellie Lamont, but really the whole collective has just been brilliant all season.
Yeah, we had a great win the last week. So the good thing is about our team is we did score 7 goals, but we had 5 different goal scorers. So I think that's very beneficial. We don't always, rely on 1 or 2 players. We can rely on, almost any player in our team to score. But yeah, Monty had her first hat trick, and I think she's on fire at the moment. And I think, Hayley's, second top goal scorer in our league. So it's so beneficial to have the 2 girls on our team. But like I said, the goals are coming from multiple players, so I think that's a bonus. Yeah.
I guess it would be poor of us not to ask before we head out is, what is the case for Bulleen to win the cup final, and what's the case for Preston to win the cup final?
Look, at the end of the day, respectfully, I don't want to diss Preston, but we've worked really, really hard. And it will give me PTSD if I lose another final. But we've worked really, really hard. Preston has as well. I do think we have that slight edge. And it would honestly just make all the hard work we've done just give us a tick moving further into the season, with it wrapping up. But yeah, I just think, we have the passion and the edge and the culture, and not that you don't. I'm just saying about us, but yeah.
All positivity.
Yeah, positivity, yeah.
I think, as soon as we started the season, we've been switched on. We know when to be serious, and we know when we can have a laugh. So I think the work rate in our team is, I haven't been a part of a work rate like that. We work very, very hard, and when things don't go wrong, we're upset because we know we can do better. But we've got a great culture, and I think we've made a name for ourselves. So I definitely think, we do deserve it. But in saying that, Bulleen's always been that team who are one of the best teams in the comp, without a doubt. They bring a level of, play that some teams can't play. Their very technical side. And
it's very nice of you.
No, I'm saying the truth, I promise. No, but they're always a team that, give 100% week in, week out, and they've got a great calibre of players as well. So I think it's going to be a great game.
I guess one last one. What would it mean in a few days' time? You're out there, 5 o'clock, whistle goes, and your team has won. Finally getting, especially as you said, Alana. I mean, you spoke about the negative side of not winning, but what would it mean to actually win this time around?
Oh, it'd be a dream. Honestly, I just want to lift a trophy. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to lift that trophy. Everyone wants to have the excitement of it, and it would honestly just hit the notch on, hit the nail on the head, I should say, not the notch. Hit the nail on the head, and it just would be honestly, I think I'd cry. I don't cry a lot, but I think I'd cry. Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree. I think there would definitely be tears going through our team. Even I reckon we can get some tears out of Dan as well, if we win. Sure. But I reckon. But I think there'll be lots of, happiness and happy tears going around for sure. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to watching that final here at the home of the Matildas. Altalevski, Alana Byrne, thank you so much for joining us here. And we'll be right back to chat a little bit more Nike FC Cup final. And we want to thank Altalevski and Alana Byrne for spending some time with us and chatting ahead of the big game on Sunday. Well, Nick, something special about this cup final is it's going to signify 50 years of domestic cup football in Victoria. A big game between these two sides, and we're here at the home of the Matildas. It feels kind of special.
It absolutely does. I mean, it's now been just over a year since we've had the home Matildas up and running here in Bundoora, and it's a great facility. I mean, we had the Nike FC Cup final here last year, which was a great day, a great event, and this Sunday is going to be great as well. But I guess, Pakua, from your point of view, I mean, seeing how women's football has grown, we've seen a lot of it, especially over the last year with the Women's World Cup, another great A-League women's season, and even a really great NPL season down here, and the growth of the game right through to the grassroots. How have you seen it as well from your perspective?
It's been fantastic. I've been chatting to people who, necessarily didn't love football, but are feeling the love of the game since the Women's World Cup. And here at the home of the Matildas, it's kind of nice. It feels special. It makes it easier to remember. But it's tremendous. And we're seeing two sides that continually invest in their women's program, particularly Preston in recent years. And they've brought in a heap of A-League experienced players in their sides. And Bulleen, we've seen them be so consistent throughout the year. So I think it's impressive that we're here, and it's nice we've got two sides that embody what it is to be, in touch with women's football.
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned, Pakua, it was 50 years ago where we had the first Women's Cup football here in Victoria, and that was between Green Gully and Melton, which Green Gully won 2-1 on the day thanks to a brace from Hazel Donovan. So a little fun fact for everyone at home, for those playing along. So, yeah, it's a very exciting occasion that we have an opportunity to remember our history, and I think seeing how the game has grown since then, and we're here in 2024, it's hopefully going to be a bumper crowd. As you mentioned, Pakua, kids go free. If you're under the age of 12, make sure you get down. Tickets are only $10. I mean, the day's going to be beautiful. It's going to be sunny. What else are you going to be doing on your Sunday? You should be getting down and get to the game. This is what I'm saying, Nick.
What else are you going to be doing? But aside that maybe, in recent history, they've been here on this day. They've been a significant part of Nike FC Cup history, and that's colder. We're not going to see them in this final. It feels a little bit strange, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels odd. Like, really odd to not have Calder United in a cup final. I mean, considering they have dominated and really just had a sort of a stranglehold of really on the trophies in Victorian women's football for a long time, not just the Nike FC Cup. I mean, even them not winning the league last season was a real sort of changing of the guard, with South Melbourne being the champions and Bulleen being the premiers. So it does feel a little bit odd, but it's nice to see that we're seeing other teams start to bridge the gap, other teams starting to really rise up the ladder. I mean, look at what Preston's done the last 12 months, Pakua, even going back 24 months when they were playing in the VPL. And Bulleen, on the other hand, I mean, they've always been there. They've always been so close. As Alana said, like they really want it. It would bring her to tears to see her have that opportunity to lift the trophy. And I think not just her, but all these Bulleen players who have been there, they've been part of some real tough moments where they've been the ones watching on as another team hoists the trophy. I think
it is one of the best days on the Victorian football calendar, and it is a glorious day to match it as well here in Melbourne's north. We are out here at the home of Football Victoria, the home of the Matildas for the Nike FC Cup final. Two packs of Lionesses set to go at it as FC Bulleen Lions face off with the Preston Lions in a contest which will see us deliver a new Nike FC Cup champion for the first time since 2016. We had plenty of teams start out on this journey, 98 of them across 7 rounds, but now only 2 remain in what is sure to be a fantastic game, supported by Nike FC and all that they do to back up and support women's football here in Victoria and Australia. My name is Joey Lynch, joined by A-League women's commentators Pakua Frimpong and Taryn Hedo to take you through all of the action that we are set to see today. We'll have interviews with Emma Checker and Paige Zois as well. We'll bring you all the important stuff that's coming ahead of a game when, Bulleen, NPLW powerhouses, but their record in cup finals, grand finals or Nike FC Cup finals, it's not the best. Trying to work against that today against the Preston side, a rising program looking to secure their first ever piece of top flight silverware. Should be a great game. Pakua, start with you first. What's one thing that you're looking for in this game here today?
Well, I'm looking forward to Bulleen's first 15 minutes. I think it's crucial for Bulleen to get out a quick start and start with a positive attitude and bring the challenge to Preston. I think when we look back in the grand final last year against South Melbourne, they conceded a goal in the opening 15 minutes. It kind of shifted the momentum of the game. So it's really important for Bulleen to get out to a quick start and really put the pressure on Preston to force them to meet them at the challenge.
Taryn, for Preston, what are you looking at for Coach Dan Foden's side?
Well, Preston, we know they can score goals. They've scored the most goals in the NPL competition this season. We know what they can do. Can they get that attacking formation correct? That's going to be the key for them. Sometimes this season when they've fallen down, maybe an embarrassment of riches for Dan Foden. So much attacking talent in this side. If they can get the combinations right today, that could be the key to victory.
Well, the starting lineups are in, and we can start with FC Bulleen Lions first of all. Well, it's maybe a case of who's available for the Lionesses. They're certainly missing plenty of talent, but plenty of good talent on the field there as well. Pakula, who are some of the players that have caught your eye in this starting lineup?
I'm really looking forward to watching Alana Cordelino. She was pivotal in that game they played back in May, and I'm hoping that she will be at her best. But unfortunately for Bulleen, some of those players that are unavailable, Isabel DeHarkis, Paige Zois, they'll be missed today. But I think it's going to be the Alana Cordelino, Maya Markovsky, and that attacking line for Bulleen. See what they can do.
Indeed, a lot are made of that Bulleen side's defence, but they can score goals themselves. But Taryn, looking at the Preston Lions starting 11 as well, as you said, an embarrassment of riches going forward, albeit they are without one notable name today as well.
Of course, Preston without Jamila Rankin today, who of course is a left back but plays such a key role going forward, that wonderful left boot with her won Matilda's cap as well. Very importantly, though, they have so many other attacking threats. Ellie Lamont is one who Dan Foden has actually tipped to perhaps get back into the A-League Women's next season. Such has been her form in both the Nike Cup and in the NPL competition. Mebe Tanaka, the Japanese national, has been fantastic as well. And of course, Hayley Johnson, well and truly in the Golden Boot race, both for the Nike Cup and also in the NPL competition. So plenty of stars on the pitch today.
Well, really, if we were to be looking at maybe one defining storyline coming into this game, it would be the defence of FC Bulleen Lions against the attack of Preston Bulleen. They are the best defence in the NPLW Victoria this season. They've only conceded 19 goals thus far in the league campaign with only a few weeks remaining, and they've conceded just once in their run to the final of the Nike FC Cup, and that was in their first game against a fellow NPLW side in Alamein. But Preston, of course, well, goals, goals, goals. They've got 61 goals this season in the NPLW Victoria. That leads the league. And Hayley Johnson, the American striker, she is second in the league in total goals scored with 16. It's a real strength against strength matchup, isn't it?
It certainly is, and we're looking forward. I think Bulleen, obviously, they've had to reshift their defence a few times this season, but they've managed to really collectively work together and make do with what they have. Obviously, DeHarkis being out is a massive blow, but I think they've got so much experience in that defensive line. I think they feel confident heading against this Preston side who are so high octane.
Yeah, I mean, Tiff Eliadis has come into centre-back for Bulleen in their absences. And, you have a player like that who's done the business at A-League women's level for so long, who can play in all sorts of positions, adds to the attack as well. So, of course, Bulleen's defence, they have the experience to deal with it. But then, of course, as we keep talking about Preston's attack, it really is a battle of attack versus defence. And I think that first goal scorer will be so important.
Well, the first goal scorer, as you said, Taryn, it's so important because, as Pakul was talking about at the start of the show, Bulleen, the first exchanges of the game, the first 10-15 minutes, it's going to be so crucial. Coach Caitlin Friend has suffered heartbreak in these games before. She suffered heartbreak at this venue in the grand final last year because of early goals. As you said, Pakul, you would have think, though, that she'd be well aware of that, and that would be a key part of her pre-game talk.
No, absolutely, and I think it's really important for Bulleen, the fact they've beaten Preston already this season, and they got out to a quick start, that goal within the first minute of the game, and they did it with a goal that's not typical for their side. They are a side that score a lot of goals from counter-attack, but they really pushed, passed through Preston quite swiftly, and I think having done that before, I think they can rely on that and know they have the capabilities of beating this Preston side, who are also quite talented themselves.
And Taryn, we're talking about this embarrassment of riches that Preston have going forward. You know, Lamont, Tanaka, Johnson, other players in behind. I mean, we haven't even talked about Miri Nishimura, who's got a wand for a boot. But you've got to get all of those 11 players on the park in a system that works and maximises all of their talent, which is no real easy thing, is it?
No, not at all. And of course, we should take the time to mention they do have Emma Checker in their lineup as well, who is a seven-time Matilda. I mean, when we talk about their attack over and over again, they've got a pretty solid defender back there as well. But no, it is going to be the key for them is getting that right combination of players. We've seen the likes of Mebe Tanaka sometimes playing as a right back or a right wing back. We've seen back threes, we've seen back fours. Can Dan Foden get the right combination today to take on, obviously, the giants that are Bulleen?
Well, I mean, looking at this side, there tends to be a protagonist and a reactive side in these types of games. One side that will try to force the issue, the other one that responds. Taryn Pakul, who would you be expecting to fill those roles today?
I would expect Preston to want to be an aggressive side and really go and attack Bulleen, because I think that's the way Preston are at their best, when they are just going continually and continuing to push forward and making sides incredibly uncomfortable. Because I think the more chaotic the game is, the more it favours a side like Preston. I think Bulleen want this game to be at their pace, dictated, and when it's like that, that's when they are at their best. So the more chaotic it is, the more it favours Preston.
Well, we brought her up just moments ago. We're at the home of the Matildas, and as the two sides were arriving, I caught up with Emma Checker, Preston Lions defender, to get her thoughts ahead of such a big game. Well, it is Nike FC Cup final day at the home of the Matildas. So, who better to speak to than a seven-time Matilda? Emma Checker, Preston Lions defender. Emma, you've played in plenty of big games, Matildas games, A-League Women Grand Finals. Does the novelty of a Cup final day ever wear off?
No, not at all. It's funny. I've had mixed comments from teammates and friends saying, "Oh, you've been in positions like this before," but it is still different. I've never played in a Nike Cup final, and it's in different colours for a different club. And knowing what this means to the club and the girls it makes it different, unique, and special in its own way. So it's funny how you can still have nerves after all this time.
I mean, looking at Preston, on fire at the moment, scoring goals for fun. Is there a lot of confidence coming into the group ahead of this one?
Yeah, I think we've found form at a really important time, and we've scored a lot of goals in the last 3 weeks, and that's something we needed to boost the group back up morale-wise leading into such a big game. It's a tough opponent. We've had some easier games the last few weeks, but at the same time, we know that the form we've had is what's going to position us well leading into the game.
Of course, it is a tough game, Bulleen. They have been the class of this league for so long. They've been in so many of these big games in the past. How do you beat them?
I think for us, the biggest focus this week, and it sounds cliche, but it's just been focusing on us, because I think what we've done the last few weeks is go back to that and refine what we're good at, and that's what's been getting us the results on the board. So for us, we respect them and we respect, what they've achieved and the quality they have, but we also back what we have, knowing that we've been able to perform so well over the last month.
And you yourself, Emma, it's your second season here at Preston. You've got history in the NPL Women's. You previously played for Alamein, but you stepped away from the A-League Women's in the last off-season. You're now looking at it from the other side of the fence. And I know we were talking before about just the incredible day that gets put on for the Nike FC Cup final. What have you seen of the NPLW? What have you seen of Victorian women's football across this past season? Does that have you excited?
Yeah, it does. And I think I can have a different lens on it now, knowing that, in the past this has been my off-season as such, whereas now it's my actual season. So it looks and feels very different when it's framed in that way. And I think for me, I'm excited to be a part of the generation coming through, and being at Preston, that was a big draw card for me, was what I can contribute to a young group of girls that are also now willing to make their mark. So I'm excited, and I know that we've got a lot of young talent, and so does the rest of the league. So it's really special to be part of.
Preston Lions, Emma Checker, ahead of the Nike FC Cup final, live on Football Victoria's YouTube page. The thoughts of seven-time Matildas defender Emma Checker there. And do not adjust your television sets. We have, or YouTube pages, or whatever you're watching on. We have lost Taryn Heddo. She's made her way up to the scaffold to take us through commentary. But we have a fine addition here on the pre-game show to take her place. Paige Zois, well, it's very unfortunate that we're not actually getting set to watch you play today. Of injuring yourself earlier in the season against Heidelberg, out for a little while. But Well, silver linings, that means that we just get to talk to you here before the game as well, Paige. Now, you've been there for a lot of some of Bulleen's best moments over the past few years, but you've also been there for some of the disappointments. This team has been on this stage before. It's not always been the happiest of times for them. What's the girls' mood coming into another final today?
Yeah, as you said, I've played in a couple finals under Katie, and we haven't had the best of luck. I think we've lost 3 now. I think it was really important to kind of like paint the narrative to the other girls that have just joined the club this season, and kind of tell the story of what has kind of happened the last few years. And I think we had a really open discussion. It's been nice to hear everyone's perspective about what it means to be here. And I think we're just ready to write a new chapter. We're looking really good. I feel like we know our stuff, and we're ready to come up against Preston, who I have a lot of respect and appreciation for. So yeah, I'm excited for a good game.
Oh, Paige, thinking about, obviously those finals past, how's this side managed to just keep calm and relax and go, this is just a game, even those things have happened in the past? Obviously there are new groups of players who haven't experienced those losses, but how have you guys as a group managed to stay calm and say this is just another game?
I think it kind of stems from the top. I think when you have a coach like Katie, who I guess you can say really experienced now in finals, it really helps keep the team calm. I think even though we haven't had the best of luck in those finals, I think it's kind of built us and shaped us for this moment. And I feel like maybe it's better that way, because I feel like we're in good shape heading into this one. And I think maybe you'll see a calm Bulleen side, but one that will take it to Preston.
And Paige, Kate, you've mentioned that Katie's taken this side to a few finals now, and really, when you look at the Australian football ecosystem, obviously you've got Kat Smith and Emily Husband in the A-League women's competition, but Caitlin's really one of the preeminent women's coaches in all of Australian football, certainly at a club level. What have you made of her transition from being such a successful player to now a coach?
I've only got good things to say about Katie. She brought me into Bulleen when I was young and hadn't really had that much senior football experience, and I think the way she kind of bloods the youth and gives everybody an opportunity is just so special. And I think if she got an opportunity in the A-League, she would be fantastic, and I really hope that today not only can we win it for the team, but can we win it for Caitlin as well. That would be nice.
It would be a fantastic story to see. I've got to ask, Paige, with this side, obviously there's so many new faces to this group, and they've really settled in well, but one in particular that I've been really impressed with is Yuka Sato, who I imagine you would have really enjoyed playing with if you had more time on the pitch with her. But how much has she changed the makeup of this side? Because you seem a more aggressive side going forward than we saw maybe in seasons past.
I absolutely love Yuka. Let me just put that out there. I think she's absolutely incredible. I think there's no one really like her. I think I describe her as the glue of the team. She kind of just puts everything together. She's a great little defender, and then when you get the ball, she can get the ball to her. She creates so much for us moving forward. So I think she's a really crucial member of our team, and I hope she has a really good day today.
And Paige, playing against Preston today, Preston are one of the newest sides in the NPL Women's Victoria competition, promoted last season, one of the 4 sides that have come up from the state leagues in the past couple of years. What have you made of how the league has shifted the talent that has come into the competition, how much more difficult it's gotten now that we're seeing sides rising up and being promoted and finding a new level?
I think it's such a good thing. I think I have a lot of respect, as I said, for Preston and the journey that it's taken them to get here, being just newly promoted, I think, last season. I think it just shows that we have a lot of talent here in Victoria, and it's cool to kind of be a part of it and see it in real time, and yeah.
Now, give us who is the player we need to be looking out for on the pitch today for Bulleen? Who is going to be that game changer that maybe people aren't aware of, but you've been seeing in training going, hey, got a little pep to their step this week?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think you can't really look past Maya. She's been injured for a bit and she's finally kind of getting back into the team now. So I think that if you get the ball to her feet in and around the goal, then she might have a good day out. And also Jess Young, I think, keep an eye on her as well.
Now, we've seen some of her celebrations before. If she gets a penalty, are we going to get her this soon?
I hope not. I really hope not.
Is she allowed to with the ankle?
No, she's allowed to, but I don't think we'll let her do that.
It's banned. It's definitely
it's banned. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm going to get Pakua's prediction in a bit as well as the final thoughts, and we'll look at how the team's got here. But Paige, I'm guessing I can imagine who you're going to tip to win it, but how do you think Bulleen are going to win it, and by how much?
Obviously.
Unless you think Preston are going to win, that's fine too.
No, heavy bias towards my girls in maroon. I'm going to say a 2-0. 2-0 win to
Nice.
Bulleen.
That's a comfortable
Who scores?
one. That's nice.
I'm going to say Tiff Eliadis and Maya Markowski.
Well, there you go, Paige Zois.
That's solid.
2-0 prediction for Bulleen. And I guess, Bakua, don't be intimidated by Paige Zois standing right next to you.
Yeah.
But who do you think is going to take out this game and why?
Oh, this is tricky. I think this game is going to go beyond the 90. I think if it does go beyond the 90, I'm going to tip Preston, but it's going to be very high scoring. I think in order for Preston to win this game, it has to be high scoring. But if we don't see a lot of goals, Bulleen take it away this game.
Well, we saw a penalty shootout in the Doherty Cup final here at the home of the Matildas just yesterday. South Melbourne winning that. Does this game go to penalties, Bakua?
No, I think we're going to get a winner in extra time, which is going to be spectacular.
And who are you tipping then maybe for the player of the game?
Player of the game, I'm not. I can't do that. I can't do that. But you know what? I think maybe Ellie Lamont. If Preston win, Ellie Lamont. If Bulleen win, I'm going to go with Yuka Sato.
Well, we were talking about maybe Ellie Lamont's A-League women bona fides. She played for Perth Glory in the past. She shared the field with Sam Kerr and Mackenzie Arnold, so she certainly knows what some good talent at the A-League women level looks like. So we'll see whether she could be the difference maker today. Well, as I said at the start of the show, we had nearly 100 sides basically began this journey several months ago to get here to the final of the Nike FC Cup. Only 2 sides remain: the Lionesses of Bulleen, the Lionesses of Preston. It's 1-2 in the NPL Women's Victoria table at the moment as well. So you can't really argue that it's not the 2 best sides in Victoria that have made this game either. Let's take a look at how they were actually able to get to this point.
Look, we're in some pretty good form and basically everybody's fit. So hopefully it'll be a good performance and then that'll mean a pretty good game because I can't imagine Bulleen will not show up. So should be a good one. Oh, it'd be huge. This is the first final that Preston's women's team have ever played in. So it's a pretty big deal around the club right now. So I'd say it's a very big one for us.
Yeah, no, we're really stoked to be a part of the grand final and looking forward to it. I think this week's going to be a nice, strong week of training. We've worked super hard the whole year for this. So, we're ready to go. Can't wait. You can expect all of us to come out really, really hard. We know Bulleen is a really strong, talented, competitive side, but I think we're ready to bring that as well, and it'll be a good game to watch.
It'll be fun to watch, I'll say that much. It'll be fun to watch. I don't think that we're going to hold back too much. You only get one opportunity at this, so I'd like to go in and give it a fair crack.
I think we're looking pretty good. We've had a few players come back from injuries, which has been a good boost for us. Looking good, looking strong. I think we're training well, so looking forward to it.
We're looking good. We've had a few weeks of big games because obviously the league is important for us as well. We've had a lot of rotations through our squad, but we've got a really resilient squad, and we're excited for the cup final and we're feeling strong.
It'd be amazing. I think myself and a few of the girls who've been in the team the past few seasons, we've reached finals but fell short quite a few times, so to win it'd be amazing.
It would mean a lot. I've been a coach at Bulleen for 3 years now, and we have made nearly every single final, but I've lost every single one. We won the Premiers last year and we're doing really well this year again, but for me personally and for our team, it would be really good to get a title in terms of cup.
There's an opening goal for the Preston Lions with Tanaka, and that is one way to say that we are still here to play. And there it is, from 3-1 down. They've drawn it back level, flung in and off the bar, and it's gone all the way in. The whistle sounds. It's the Preston Lions who punch their tickets to the semi-finals.
Nike Cup quarter-final football comes to Jubilee Park for the very first time. Now Markowski with the left has a hat-trick. Leads the Lions roar through to the semi-finals of the Nike Cup. 6-0 winners.
That has been blocked by Lamont, which has given Johnson a golden opportunity, and this time she puts it away, makes absolutely no mistake. The Preston Lions through to their first ever Nike FC Cup final.
This evening's contest is between the FC Bulleen Lions taking on FV emerging Cordelino. Still Cordelino with the effort. Cordelino! A fantastic effort from Alana Cordelino. It may just be over. Cordelino! A second goal of the evening.
Well, in 2020, when the club sat in the second tier of Victorian women's football, the Preston Lions released their 5-year strategy. Among the 4 pillars were to be a destination club with unrivaled ambition. Now, as they prepare for their first ever Nike FC Cup final with 2 Matildas on their books, it's fair to say that they stand on the cusp of achieving that vision. Standing in their way this afternoon, the ever-present Bulleen Lions, always there and thereabouts in the NPL, always contending, but after 6 years of agony, 3 NPL final losses since their 2018 triumph and defeat in the Nike FC Cup final last year, this group have unfinished business. Will it be the newcomers Preston, or will it be the heavyweights Bulleen? Which Lion will roar loudest and lift the Nike FC Cup trophy in 2024? We're here at the home of the Matildas to find out. And as the teams walk out into a packed crowd, eagerly anticipating no NPL action this weekend so everyone could come and watch, I'm here with Pakua Frimpong. Pakua, how exciting is this clash? What are you expecting this afternoon?
Well, Taryn, I'm really looking forward to working with you this afternoon. It's been a long time coming, but for this game, I'm really, really excited. I think that we are going to be in for a thrilling game, but not only a high-quality game, but we're going to see some real players here who are standouts. And if you haven't had a chance to watch them throughout the NPL Victoria season, this is the chance, and they'll be playing each other pretty soon as well.
We'll head down now for the national anthem.
Traditional owners of the lands that we gather and meet upon today. We pay our respects to elders of the past and present. We extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that may also be present with us today at the game or online watching. We acknowledge the spiritual connection the Bolen people have to the land, water, skies and country, along with a deep connection to community, culture, traditions, aspirations, creation and knowledge. We are proud to walk together with our First Nations people of Victoria on the journey to reconciliation. Could you all please stand for the Australian National Anthem performed live by the talented Paige.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and a wealth for toil. Our hope is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, in history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains that let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Well, as formal proceedings conclude and the players shake hands, we'll go over the lineups for both teams this afternoon. For Preston, they are unchanged from the side that defeated Alamein 7-1 in the MPL on Friday night. The only changes on the bench with Summer Cabinettia coming in for Ellie Vlamink. That is a team stacked with attacking talent, isn't it, Pakua?
No, it certainly is, and that is the hallmark of a Preston Lions side, being aggressive, and players like Ali Lamont as well there. They're going to be really difficult for Bulleen to stop, but if they can stop them, it leads them to a long way to winning.
Meanwhile, for Bulleen Lions, the big in for Caitlin Friend's team is Maya Markovsky, who was past fit to start today after coming off the bench and scoring a brace last week in the MPL. Although there's a lot of important outs for Bulleen too, isn't there?
There certainly is, obviously, namely being Isabel DeHarkis. Defensively, she's been such a pivotal part of this Bulleen side's success this season, getting their attack started from deep on, but she's also such an intelligent defender as well. So that's a big out. They've also got a lot of quality players there. Got Mila Bullich in defence as well this afternoon, who is certainly capable of stepping up to the task.
Well, it's a big occasion for the referees as well. The central official today is Courtney Van Decent. So she'll be in charge of proceedings, keeping things cool, calm out there as the teams are in their huddles. Final words from the leaders. Plenty going through their minds at the moment. These are the moments that teams work so hard for. 8 players in the Bulleen Lions squad who came runners-up in both the Nike FC Cup competition and then also fell in the MPL final to South Melbourne. So there'll be plenty of desire to right that wrong from their perspective. And for Preston, of course, this would be a historic first for the club if they were to get the win today. The first time they have reached this stage of the competition, it would be the first time that they have lifted this trophy. A competition that has become so synonymous with Calder United, of course. The first time since 2016 we will have a new Nike FC Cup champion.
Feels a little bit strange though, doesn't it, Taryn, to not have Calder United here? But there are certainly a lot of players who've played for Calder in the past there, so we've still got Calder here as well. But for these two sides, they've worked incredibly hard to get to this point, and they've probably been the two of the best sides in the competition, barring the sides likes of Eston and Royals, who've also been incredibly impressive this season as well.
1 and 2 on the NPL ladder. These are the games you want to watch. Best defence in the NPL against best attack. And these are the moments they have been training long and hard for. Applause around the ground. Bulleen standing over it. Final checks. And we are underway in the Nike FC Cup final here at the home of the Matildas as Bulleen looking to get off to a fast start. Cordelino got on the end of it. Sato now trying to find space. Cut inside. But it was good work from Nishimura to get in the way. Driving into the box though is Jess Young, fresh off a brace last week. All the way back to Eliadis in centre back duties. Well, it's Bulleen who started the game on the front foot, and Pakua, you said in the pre-game show this first 15 minutes is going to be so important.
It's really important for Bulleen to be aggressive and set the task to Preston, because they're the side that have been here in the previously. And obviously, you look, it's 46 seconds. If you look back in their game in May, by this point, Bulleen had already scored through Alana Cordelino. But it's really important opening 15 minutes for Bulleen to just feel confident in their play and not get pushed around.
Muldiri trying to drive forward, is cut out by Checker. So it'll be Preston who have the throw deep in their half as a result. Cordelino. Markovsky. Put in a good cross, but no one arriving at the back post. Rosie Roger, a very technical player, probably not the best player you'd want to get on the end of an aerial ball. Here come Preston trying to assert some authority of their own. Ball in the middle, looking for Fonsonkamp. It's cut out well by Mila Bulic. Preston still on the attack, an attempted turn and gone to ground in the box, and an early penalty for Preston. An opportunity to immediately stamp their mark on this game. It was fantastic work to bring the ball forward. The high press coming up trumps. And Preston Lions a chance to be the team that roars first.
It is, and this is what Bulleen didn't want. You don't want to be caught under pressure and having to defend, away from going running, away. It's really difficult, and they put themselves in a bad spot. And this is exactly what they weren't after. If you are Bulleen, but for Preston, this is exactly how you need to start. Meet Preston at the top of the hill and see if they can match it.
Well, it was Mebe Tanaka was the player who was brought to ground in the penalty area. It will be Susan Fonsonkamp, the one tasked with giving Preston the lead. Well, what a huge moment this is. Bulleen looked to start assertively, but that high press from Preston has won them a penalty. Can Fonsonkamp put it away? The Australian Youth International. Seasons at the Wanderers and Perth in the A-League Women's. A star in the making. Fonsonkamp tucks it away, and Preston Lions in 3.5 minutes of the cup final take the lead. Susan Fonsonkamp with the penalty. And that is a huge, huge goal in this cup final.
Absolutely, it is, Taryn. And for the way Preston started, that's exactly what you need to start the game. You need to put those chances away. But when you're looking at Bulleen, now it becomes a character test. How much have they learnt in those previous finals? How much of those players who've been through this before, how much can they regroup quickly and get on the front foot? And this is exactly how you need to start.
Jess Young trying to play in Roger. Well, this has got to be nightmare fuel for Bulleen, because we've spoken about how good they are defensively. They've come out, conceded that early penalty, and now it is an uphill battle. Obviously, there's so long to go in this game. You can't draw any conclusions about the way that this game is going to go. But for Preston, a massive confidence boost for Bulleen, who have lost the last 4 finals that they've been in at NPL level and the Nike Cup final as well. There's a huge task on their hands.
There is a huge task on their hands, but we haven't touched on it just yet, but Tiff Eliadis is playing at centre-back today, and that's a change from what we've seen from Bulleen at times this season. Obviously, since Isabel DeHarkis has been out, we've typically seen Liam Aldeary with Miller Bullich as a centre-back partnership. So a change here, but Lamont there with
the ball delivered in, and I was looking for that run of Tanaka at the back post.
But yeah, it's that change of defensively now. Tiff Eliadis, Miller Bullich have got to find that partnership, and it's interesting that move as well for Eliadis, because she's been so good up front, scoring so many goals. So that's one big tactical change that Caitlin Friend has made, and right now it's just one goal down. So it's not probably the way we would like to have started.
We know, of course, Bulleen have plenty of firepower of their own. Markovsky, one of the best among them, wins her side a corner. So the first corner of the afternoon will go the way of Bulleen as they search for this equaliser. And the obvious target, not just for her goal-scoring ability, but she stands out, she's tall, she's strong. You'd think the ball's going to Maya Markovsky.
Absolutely, but also every other player for Bulleen is certainly capable. Bulleen, set pieces are a hallmark of their game. They're so effective at scoring from set piece opportunities, and it's one of the great ways they get back into games.
Jess Young delivering the corner right into the mixer. It's not cleared. Still on here. Appeals for a foul. And it goes the way of Preston. A yellow card for Markovsky as well. Well, in an attempt to do a rather audacious overhead kick after this corner wasn't cleared. That is a very high boot from Markovsky, and the foul rightfully awarded by the referee.
Yeah, certainly. But they've got to keep getting back to that. And for Bulleen now, I mentioned the opening 15 minutes. Opening 15 minutes are not over. They haven't lost. They're obviously a goal down, but they can regroup, refocus, and they are very capable of scoring very quickly.
Fonsonkamp going out wide to the Mont. Inventive, back to Fonsonkamp. Good challenge from Muldeary, an important one as well. Wearing the captain's armband this afternoon. Liam Muldeary, the 22-year-old. Preston will have another opportunity for another throw. Again, we've spoken about that firepower, and you've even got the likes of Miri Nishimura just hanging back a little bit in a more defensive midfield role. She can score a long bomb. We've seen that before. Lamont goes to ground, nothing in it according to the referee. So Bulleen, a chance to counter, but an errant touch from Jess Young gives the ball straight back to Preston. Johnson, overlapping run from Tanaka. Nebeg Tanaka, still going into the penalty area. Muldeary stayed shoulder to shoulder.
And this is where you're going to need the likes of Alana Byrne in that midfield to step up as the central defensive midfielder for Bulleen, just to calm this side down. Such an experienced player, Alana Byrne, but they just need to just calm this game down, because we mentioned in the pre-game show, it's all the chaos. Really, Preston thrive on it, and this game is just getting a little bit chaotic in the midfield at times.
Corner in, again dangerous, headed away at the near post by Markovski. Von Songkamp, back to Nishimura, will deliver in another ball of quality. Johnson got the header on it. Not enough power or direction to really challenge Aaron Hudson in goal. Bulleen playing it through the middle. Nice overlapping run on that side. Yuki Sato. In for Rosie Roger. Heavy touch. Taken away by Henderson. Gives it straight back to Bulleen though. They'll have an opportunity to recycle possession here. Iliadis so good at that switch of play. Can really dictate play from the back. Muldiri.
You can just see already, Taryn, the space that Preston are occupying, they're really clogging up the centre of the park. And this is quite a wide pitch. And for Preston, they're quite comfortable here because BT Connor is quite similar to the size of home Matildas. Whereas for Bulleen, the Veneto club's a lot smaller than this pitch. They've got to get used to that width of this pitch. And Preston have done a really good job of just making sure that midfield is clogged up so Bulleen can't pass through it.
Tanaka's picked up the ball deep and has won her side of throw as she's trying to play it up the line. The grandstand on the far side really filling up now. It's a catch-up round in the state leagues as well, although due to recent rain, many of those teams are playing today. But no NPL, so a lot of the Victorian football community out here in force this afternoon to catch a glimpse of the action. And Songkamp tries to help it forward, but just gives it back to Bulleen. Roger to Jess Young. Tries to take it in her stride, but a little bit too much on it from Roger, so it'll trickle out of play. Charlotte Harry-Horrison in goals for Preston, 18 years of age. Was a Melbourne City train-on. Also previously of FV Emerging. Very talented up-and-coming goalkeeper. Markovski battling.
It's really important for Bulleen to not get stuck in the mud because when Bulleen get passive and negative in their play and they can't find the solution, they tend to recycle the ball, and they can't find the player to unlock it for them. So they need to stay patient, stay calm. It's only a goal down at this point. Obviously, we're not even 15 minutes into this game, but they need to not get negative even if they aren't able to pass through on the first attempt of trying to break through Preston.
Johnson brought to ground illegally by Tiff Eliadis. So Preston will win the free kick in Bulleen's half. And Macheka, the player standing over this free kick, looks to launch it forward into the bodies. It comes off Eliadis. Thankfully, from a Bulleen perspective, straight into the gloves of Hudson. Cordolino trying to make things happen for Bulleen. Just lost her footing. You can see the frustration on her face, what she thought of that one. It was well tracked by Von Songkamp.
Where we are, Taryn, we can hear from the pitch. You're hearing Liam Muldiri tell Alana Connolly, take her, because that is what the capabilities of Alana Cordolino. She's fantastic one-on-one player. She's so pacey. I think she's the quickest player in the competition. Still would like to see a race with her and Alana Yanchevsky but we'll still like to see a race to see how quick Alana Cordolino really is. But she's such a fast player, one-on-one. That is where she really excels.
Such an emerging talent in Victorian football, only 17 years of age, Cordolino. Lianis to Young. Switching play. Finds Cordolino. Maldiri with the overlapping run. Instead, she'll go back central. Lamont is the player who comes up with it for Preston. She's brought down in the process by Alana Byrne. The second yellow card of this half already for Bulleen. This time to Alana Byrne. The first one coming to Maya Markovsky earlier in the half. Maybe just a little bit of frustration already building for Bulleen.
A little bit of frustration. She was. They were out there. Preston had that foul not being done. I think it was needed for Alana Byrne, but that's a dangerous yellow card for Alana Byrne to have because of the role she plays, patrolling just in front of that back line. So she's going to need to be cautious, and that's just another kind of a little micro positive for Preston and a little advantage. Those kinds of things can add up in a game if you're not careful.
Preston on the attack again. Ishimura trying to find Johnson central. In the end, it'll come all the way back to Checker. Happy to play it around the back, Preston. Nishimura now looks to release Tanaka. Oh, Tanaka, fantastic work to keep it in and win her side at corner. The tenacity there of Maybe Tanaka, a mid-season signing. 10 goals in the NPL this season in only 13 appearances. She's really making her mark for Preston, and as a result, Nishimura will be able to send in another corner.
And she's scored those 10 goals not just from being in attacking positions, she's been deployed everywhere by Dan Foden since her arrival.
Corner delivered, dangerous back post. Eliada's got there first. Lamont tried to hook it back in, only cleared as far as Checker. Eva Harrington. Markovsky this time gets a decisive boot to it.
Wouldn't they have loved Alana Cordolino to be right there where that ball was? Use her pace.
Another ball delivered in. Hayley Johnson gets there. Can only chest it wide. My goodness, that was a fantastic ball in. Johnson only slightly mistimed her run there, the American. That could have been too easily there for Preston.
Yeah, it was just out of reach. She said, let me just see if any part of my body can touch that ball and direct it goalwards. But she's always just a little bit too far. That was a fantastic ball in.
Johnson just has this ability, the American, to win those kinds of headers. Tanaka picking up the ball, dangerous area. Intercepted by Fonsong-Kam. Susan Fonsong-Kam cutting back inside, trying to find space to shoot on her left. In the end, Tanaka picks it up. The ball will be played back wide to Lamont. Ellie Lamont. Back heel. Bulleen have got back in numbers now. Feeks. Johnson. Mary Nishimura will play it out wide. And that time, that ball easily gathered by the experienced Aaron Hudson.
Just at the moment watching this game, Taryn, and Bulleen still just outnumbered in that midfield, and Preston able to get extra numbers in there and just pass their way through and just kind of shift Bulleen out of the way. Need to find a way to even up that midfield battle, otherwise this game will get out of their control, because unlike the first time these sides met, the first half was dominated by Bulleen. Preston have really been dictating the way this game has been played.
And that's where that Alana Byrne yellow card could really come into it. As Bulleen trying to assert themselves in midfield. Johnson looked offside, is offside. And that'll be called back for a Bulleen free kick.
It's interesting looking at this team sheet. I was, doing prep for this game, and I was thinking back to a player who would be, really influential. And I came to the decision. I thought Lourdes Gonzalez. That's going to be the player who's really going to make a difference for Bulleen, because when she's at her best, Bulleen are certainly, right up there, and she's so good at finding other players. And you look back to that first goal in the game in May. She's a beautiful ball through to Cordelino. Could they bring on someone like Lourdes Gonzalez, later on in this game to play as almost like a false 9 sort of role and, drop into that midfielder at times to get that extra number, because she does have that range of passing, but she's also a goal-scoring threat. That may be something they'd have to think about, because at the moment, that midfield battle is not really going well for Bulleen.
Markovsky driving forward. You can see every time she gets the ball, there's 2 or 3 Preston players straight away on her. They know that she's the danger player. Of course, still recovering from that injury. Only fit enough to come off the bench last week. Did make a big difference, scoring a brace against Bentley. Aldery's attempted ball in, blocked away by Johnson. Markovsky currently leading the Nike FC Cup Golden Boot race with 8 goals in this competition. All delivered in, headed away by Checker. Eliadis sees space in front of her and takes it. Roger helps it on its way. Lovely turn and a shot from the edge of the area. Roja Little was saved comfortably by Charlotte Horrison. But that's more promising for Bulleen.
That's what they need to do. They need to work it in amongst each other, because the connection between the likes of Markovsky and Sato, that's something that they really need to utilise a little bit more in this game. It's got better as the season's gone. Obviously, both players have been out at times with injury, but particularly at the early portion of this season when Bulleen were dominating sides, that combination was useful. And there's little pockets of space that they were playing between. It was really proved to be fruitful.
Here come Bulleen, trying to take advantage in transition perhaps, just young. The player on the ball. Play it back to Mila Bulic. And this is where Preston will give them a lot of space here and allow Liadis and Bulic to take space in front of them. And that's why, because they can win the ball there and hopefully counter. Didn't come off that time. You can see a clear plan from coach Dan Foden.
But this is exactly what Preston want. Preston want this game to just get a little bit stuck in the mud, have all their players behind the ball and just have to ask Bulleen, do you have the answers? Do you have the key to this lock?
Markovsky wins a corner as Lamont comes back to defend. It certainly is, but then you see when Preston have the ball, they have those 3 players right on the last defender. So then forcing Bulleen to deal with players that they know have the ability to get in behind at any point. Very difficult to deal with those attacking threats, both on the counter and then when Preston do have the ball. An opportunity here from a set piece for Bulleen. Young delivers. Cleared away at the front post. Fonsong Cam trying to chase that one down. She did well, Fonsong Cam, but Bulleen are the team that come away with it. Roja Little equal to the task.
Just not seeing enough movement off the ball at times from some of these Bulleen players. That second part, that part of the pass is just not there. And they're just looking around. It's just taking a little bit too long, allowing Preston more time to get ready defensively.
Maldieri's ball in. Checker remains calm under pressure. Roger is approaching over her shoulder. Young taken out there by Lamont. Clumsy challenge. So it will be Bulleen with a free kick in a promising area. Certainly one where they can hit their attacking targets and look to make something happen. Tiff Eliadis will be the player standing over this free kick. Players lining up on the edge of the area. Eliadis delivering. Header, promising. Looping just over. Well, it was Bulleen who won the header. Just wasn't able to direct it on target. Alana Byrne was the player who rose the highest. Now it's von Sonkamp, not able to get past Miller Bullich, who did really well in defence. Just stood her ground. Didn't allow von Sonkamp past. Well, as much as Bulleen weren't able to get that shot on target, it is a warning shot. Byrne did have that header free. She was the player who got there first, and maybe set pieces will be the key in this game, it's particularly for a side like Bulleen who have so many threats.
Yeah, absolutely, and they score from them consistently. Caitlin Friend has mentioned that they don't practice them, but it's something they've become very comfortable at scoring from. And I think that for other sides, corners, maybe we hope we might score, but for Bulleen, it's something that is very reliable for them, and they just know what to do. So getting a corner from an attacking, set of play, that's also a win for Bulleen.
Alderey unable to keep the ball in, so Preston will have the throw. Here cries of lift from the Bulleen players. On Sonkamp, trying to hit Tanaka, can't do so.
Sorry to cut you off, Taryn, but I do think the last few minutes they've started to just get into it a little bit more, but they're going to need to really win this midfield battle. Jess Young, Yuka Sato, Alana Byrne, they need to find that pass to unlock Markovski, Cordellino, and Roger. And obviously, DeHarkis being out, it's strange to think of a centre-back being pivotal to a side's attacking set of play, but her range of passing and her ability just to drive forward and just shift, the opponent on their back foot is also something they've really lost here. So they need to be bold and they need to be brave, Bulleen, particularly being a goal down.
Molly May Ramsey just took that out of play for Preston, so Bulleen with the throw. It's come out well here for Young, who's squared it in for Cordellino. Well, maybe a moment of hesitation for Ray Horrison, but she's managed to gather the ball in the end, sending her players up the pitch. Creating plenty of half chances, Bulleen. You imagine it's just a matter of time before something more clear-cut is created. Whether or not they can put it away, of course, that's the kind of things that determines games of football. Markovski, May Ramsey clearing it into the grandstand. Von Sonkamp trying to help it over the top for Henderson. Hooks her boot around it and finds Tanaka. Johnson. Back to Henderson. Trying to poke it through to Tanaka, but it's cut out well by Eliadis.
Rosie Rogers got to do a lot better defensively. She has to get back and help Araha Little out. That, Preston almost being out there, that's because Rosie Rogers was jogging back. You need to be connected as a side defensively, otherwise Preston are going to exploit you on those wings.
Tanaka not able to get around Little on that occasion. And certainly football's, it's like a game of chess for Kua. If you move one piece, another piece is suddenly unprotected, and you need to make sure that you're moving as a team and that you don't leave those areas of the pitch unprotected.
Your chess era, Taryn, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it, and you're certainly right. It is, one little move, shifts everything, but you have to be patient also, unless you're Magnus Carlsen, who wins in like 10 minutes.
Preston working their way up the pitch in throws. Eliadis intercepts. Cordolino back into midfield. Helped over the top. Eliadis continuing her run. Checker. Well, originally the plan was to leave it for Ray Horrison, but she could feel the boots of Eliadis coming down behind her. She was forced to clear it out of play. That's classic Tiff Eliadis, that run.
That is. And that's what they've lost of putting Eliadis, defensively. And I'm still a little bit shocked that we've seen Tiff Eliadis start defensively. She's been so good since Markovsky was out and playing up front. I feel like you're losing a lot, and she's such a goal threat.
A false start in the first corner, but we'll go again. Dangerous ball. Headed away by Preston. And now Lamont comes away with it. Ellie Lamont trying to find space. In the end, the ball's taken out. Players stumbling over each other. It was Yuki Sato who came out worse for wear. There's nothing in it. The momentum just sort of carried both players out of the pitch. But both players back up on their feet. That's what you like to see.
Absolutely. I would be on the ground crying. I'm not going to lie about that, Taryn. Not built for that kind of challenge.
Bulleen trying to work their way forward. Markovsky dropped deep then to win it. Well, switch play. Cordolino manages to keep it under control. Aldieri is the challenge of Tanaka. Does well to ride the challenge and continue with the ball. Sato. Nice turn. And Tanaka, well, again, almost getting there. It was good work from Aldieri. Good use of the body to make sure that she was able to poke it to a teammate before Tanaka got there. She's a constant threat, though. That press of Tanaka. Oh, no, an unfortunate fall for Lamont. Molly May Ramsey spares her blushes. Is able to come back and help defend. Opportunity not lost here for Bulleen. Roger. Unable to get past Nishimura. Lamont just not able to keep her footing at the moment. That's the second incident in a couple of minutes where she's lost her footing. Anyway, play continues. Preston letting Bulleen play it around. Patiently searching for that opening. Jess Young. All the way back to Bullich. He delivers it in. Over the first Preston defender. It was cleared away eventually, and now a chance in transition. Eva Harrington plays it back, but Eliadis comes away with it. The strength of Tiff Eliadis. But Cordolino can't get on the end of the ball. So Preston will briefly have possession. Settling into a bit of a holding pattern at the moment, Pakua.
Yeah, I think that the way this first half is looking like it's closing, I think there are some positive signs that Bulleen can work with at half-time in their team talk. See, we're seeing Eliadis go push up a little higher, and Lana Byrne is slotting in at centre-back at the moment. So will we see a change defensively? And will we see players come on? But I'm liking this a little bit more from Bulleen. They haven't been deterred. They were a little bit passive early on after that, conceding that goal, but they've built into this game, and with only one goal deficit, I think Caitlin Friend, all things considered, would be okay with where this team is sitting. I think for Dan Foden and his Preston side, maybe they just a little bit just lost their way just slightly. But obviously with that 1 goal buffer, you're allowed that little bit of grace.
Roger fighting her way through, plays it back to Young, who'll distribute the ball to her centre back. Byrne, as Pakua mentioned, has gone back into that role, allowing Eliadis a bit more of a free roaming role in midfield. Checker put under some pressure, deals with it well. Harrington. Now Tanaka. Maybe Tanaka. It's a fascinating contest with Liam Muldeary out on that side. Johnson. From Songcam. Tanaka. You can see Johnson streaming forward, as is Fonsongcam, who drives into the box. Susan Fonsongcam. Shot blocked, but a shot from the edge of the area blocked again. Henderson was the Preston player with the second attempt. Oh, here goes Lamont now. Ellie Lamont, tight angle. Misses the frame of goal high and wide. That's what Preston can do. Just as we begin to praise Bulleen for getting a foothold back into this game, it's Preston who come up with 3 excellent chances.
But that's the threat of this Preston Lions side. They are capable of scoring at any moment, and they can score in different ways. They can be direct, they can use their width, and they've got players who are in a really confident bit of form at the moment and feeling good about their football. So you have to be wary if you are Bulleen, but also something I really love about Bulleen is their fullbacks in Arrow Little and Liam Muldeary. They're such consistent professionals. You get the most reliable performances from them. It's going to be really important for them to continue to be, win those battles. Otherwise, if they can't, it's going to be really simple at times for Preston to work their way through them.
Well, Eliadis has robbed Fonsongcam and then Henderson of the ball, but her pass to Markovski is intercepted by Tanaka. That bounce, though, for Eva Harrington gives the ball back to Bulleen. Muldeary back to Sato. Again, happy to give them this space, Preston, because Tanaka can come in and intercept like that. In that case, it was Nishimura. But the two of them on that side, along with Johnson, who is the point of the spear, are happy to just wait for passing errors from Bulleen and are happy to capitalise when they can. Checker, Harrington, Tanaka, who's free. Eliadis coming across to make the challenge. Fonsongcam. Well, she gets there, Fonsongcam, but a non-rushing keeper does the business. Henderson attempts the chip from distance. Erin Hudson retrieves the ball. A heart-in-mouth moment. Hudson had to come out and clear. But Henderson couldn't get the elevation that she needed. I mean, it would have been goal of the season, goal of the century, had that one managed to go in. Here come Bulleen again. Jess Young playing the ball in for Markovski. Markovski gets there, plays it back central. Cordolino equalises for Bulleen. The 17-year-old on the spot. And it's back to 1-1 at the home of the Matildas.
And that's that hustle plays. 2 players that we've mentioned. Taryn talked about how important they are. Alana Cordolino, Maya Markovski putting it away. Maya Markovski not giving up on that play and staying consistent. But it's a really good run from Markovski, physically winning her battle first up, getting past the keeper. And there was Alana Cordolino right in the right spot at the right time. And she certainly wasn't going to miss from there.
Well, Bulleen, they've controlled the majority of this half, even if Preston have continued to have chances. They've finally got that clear-cut chance, and they've got their just reward. Alana Cordolino from the assist of Markovski. That was just pure determination from Maya Markovski.
And you've got to give a lot of praise to Jess Young as well for making that run and seeing that pass. And it was, it wasn't easy, that chance for Maya Markovski to get the ball, but she made it work. But Jess Young, a lot of credit. That's the sort of things we would have seen from Isabel de Haas, driving forward, getting that pass and just laying it off and saying, you go do the rest of this work. I've set you up and you can finish it off. But that is excellent bit of play there from Bulleen, and that's how they score typically, those kind of counter sort of breaks, and something that I'm certain the Preston were working on during the week, and they'll be a little bit disappointed that they conceded a goal that way, particularly Emma Checker losing that battle.
Well, Cordolino has been involved in youth national teams in the past, also with FV emerging. Here she is again on the ball, helped on by Eliadis. Checker manages to get there that time and cut off the ball for the youngster.
I think that move, Taryn, to bring Eliadis into that midfield has really changed things up for this Bulleen side, and it has made Preston have to think we have to be a little bit more sure defensively in that midfield battle, and we can't just free roam forward, because Tiff Eliadis is another threat going forward, as well as Yuka Sato, because they're able to sag off the likes of Alana Byrne, because she's not that sort of player.
Eliadis cutting inside, and a foul as she was stopped by Molly May Ramsey. Eliadis protesting that it should be a card. The foul will have to be enough for Bulleen. What a difference she has made since moving forward from centre back. As you say, Pakua, Alana Byrne's moved back, Eliadis has moved forward, and it has made a tremendous difference to this Bulleen attack.
That's why we were so confused, Aaron, when we saw the team sheet, because the defensive shape that Bulleen have had for the majority of this time since they've had the injuries has been consistent, has done relatively well. So that change just seemed a little bit strange, but Caitlin Friend showing that she's capable as a coach, and a good coach, that she's able to make those in-game changes, and as that's particularly the reason why her side is back into this contest.
Maya Markovski lines up the shot. Markovski! Has it crossed the line? Well, it has now. Rosie Roger makes sure of it. And on the biggest stage, Maya Markovski comes up with the goods. Bulleen Lions take the lead before half-time. And what a way to do it.
And a player in absolutely fine form, Taryn, coming back from injury. She's third on the NPL goal scoring sheet, but what a fantastic effort from Maya Markovski. I don't think it crossed the line from our vantage point. Rosie Roger will get credited with the goal, but Maya Markovski gets all the credit. A fantastic strike from a player who's having a fantastic season. And it's just one of those dance moves are those as well. Paige Zois said we weren't going to see a shoo, but that dance move, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, if you're going to dance after doing something like that, it may as well be in the Nike FC Cup final. I agree, Pakua. I think the goal will be credited to Rosie Roger. We have to praise her instincts to be there and make sure of the goal, but it was Markovski's free kick. It dipped, got in over the wall, hit the underside of the crossbar. Really nothing that Charlotte Hay-Horrison could do. And how quickly this game has turned. It looked like it would be Preston sitting back, threatening in transition with that one-goal lead, and now suddenly it is Bulleen, the side in the lead, and they have the wins behind their backs at the moment.
Yeah, and Taryn, I mentioned after the first goal, what is the character of this Bulleen side? How do they respond going a goal down, particularly those players who have been in this situation before? They've responded, but now it falls to the Preston Lions. How do you respond? You haven't been here before, but you've got players who have been in big moments. Emma Checker, how did they lift this side? We're so close to half-time, so Dan Foden will have an opportunity to talk to his side, settle their nerves. But I just feel like Preston, they went away from themselves. Preston were aggressive, were on the front foot early in this game, but they sat back, they got that goal. They've had chances here and there, but they weren't bringing the challenge to Bulleen, and that's the best way to face Bulleen. Meet them, make them have to work hard, make them have to make that extra pass.
It's Von Sonkam who's trying to make something positive happen for Preston, as we are only minutes away from half-time. Can either side produce one last opportunity before the break? Of course, if you are just joining us, it's currently Bulleen who are in the lead. It was Preston who scored first. Susan Fonsonkamp scoring a penalty that was won by Mebe Tanaka. And then Alana Cordolino levelling thanks to fantastic work from Jess Young and then Maya Markovsky. And then that go-ahead goal, the free kick from Markovsky. Whether or not it crossed the line is just academic. Rosie Roger was there to tap home in any case. And it's Bulleen now well and truly in the ascendancy. Muldeary driving into the box from deep, crosses it in. Well, clearance not convincing. Markovsky, what a touch! Maya Markovsky, the first touch was sublime, the second, well, much less so. But you really, really do not want to give Markovsky a sniff in the penalty area because she can produce moments like that. And there'll be 3 minutes of added time for either side to make something happen before the team talks. We get confirmation of that from the fourth official now. If you're Preston Pakua, are you pushing here? Are you potentially leaving yourself open, exposed to a third?
You've got to push. Yeah, that's the way Preston play. It's the way they are.
And here's the ball to Johnson. It's a good touch, but equally well defended.
You have to go and attack it because I think they can. I feel they should be confident enough to hold out for the remaining 3 minutes.
Oh, there's a shot from the edge of the area, a tricky one to deal with. Nishimura is so dangerous from those sorts of areas.
It would be contradictory of me to say that they should act passive as well, the way I've talked about the way in which Preston have played and need to play in this game. So I think they have to be Preston, attack, attack, attack.
Markovsky picking up the ball in midfield. It'll come out to Jess Young. Iliadis. Markovsky, space ahead of her. Heavy first touch, let her down. Might still come out to Cordolino if she's onside. She is. Cordolino can't keep the ball in. And Markovsky in back play. Very slow to get back to her feet. This could be a huge turning point in this game. A reminder, she's coming into this game nursing an injury. She was on the bench last week in the MPL. An ankle injury is the cause. And it could well be that same ankle that's causing her grief here. She's been so influential, not just in this game, but for the whole season for Bulleen. And of course, looking ahead, obviously in the context of this final, but also the rest of the MPL season. I mean, Bulleen fans will be holding their breath here and hoping she's okay.
Yeah, look at that effort on goal. What a fantastic... Came off the crossbar, hit her horizon, but Rosie Roger with that striker's instinct to tap it in and you know, make sure that it was 2 goals for the FC Bulleen Lions. But look at that. Yeah, I like that. I like a little bit of that sauce, that little bit of swagger from the FC Bulleen Lions and Maya Markovsky. They're a little bit of an odd duo there. Markovsky so tall, Rosie Roger so small, but we love it from those two.
Well, it's great to see her dancing because at the moment, live pictures, she is very slowly limping off the pitch.
But I've got to say, Taryn, that if you are Caitlin Friend, you want to wait till halftime to make the decision because it's so close at this point, and give yourself as much time. If you don't have to take Maya Markovsky off, don't take her off.
Yeah, she is staying on the pitch for now. Look, give her some magic spray. She'll be right. Meanwhile, Preston driving forward. Ellie Lamont squaring it towards the back post. Henderson strikes. Just leant back too much on the shot. Georgia Henderson there. couldn't keep it down, and it's flown over the crossbar. That's probably the best opportunity from open play that Preston have had.
Absolutely, and you maybe wish if maybe Tanaka and Georgia Henderson could have swapped positions there and Tanaka be the one to take that strike, but just got too far underneath the ball. But that is probably Preston's best chance from open play in this game.
Well, she did score goal of the season, goal of the week last week. Sorry, apologies. Goal of the week.
Where your vote's
last
going,
week.
Darren.
So, she does have it in her locker. That was a much simpler opportunity than the one that won her that award.
Hey, ballers do what ballers got to do. I'm sure there'll be more chances for Preston. Got another exciting second half, it's coming up.
Of course, that 3 minutes of extra time was extended, but that will be the end of proceedings for the first half. It was Preston who took the lead, an early penalty to Susan von Songcam, cancelled out by that equalizer to Alana Cordolino, and then the free kick from Maya Markovski leading to the second. Whether or not that's credited to Markovski or to Rosie Roger, well, that remains to be seen. But it's been a fantastic first half of action. We'll cross now to Joey Lynch on the sidelines. He's got Maya Markovski, the woman of the moment, ready for a half-time interview.
Very nice shoes, Maya. You went down very early. You were able to rally. How did the team do it?
Honestly, just having belief in our girls, to be honest. We haven't been down too many times this year, but, early goal didn't change. We started really strong and we just had that belief. We knew we were going to get back in it.
You played an integral role in setting up the equaliser. Walk me through it.
Honestly, it was just like a split second. I just saw Alana and like three bodies. Just gave it to her feet and just prayed that she finished it.
Can you go on with it from here?
Absolutely, yeah.
Maya Markovski, thank you very much. Get in the rooms. Back to you guys. 45 minutes of enthralling football is in the books at the home of the Matildas, and at halftime of the Nike FC Cup final, it is FC Bulleen Lions that hold a 2-1 lead over the Preston Lions. They went ahead in the 4th minute through Susan von Sonkam, but Bulleen answering back through the Pocket Rockets, Alana Cordolino and Rosie Roger to head into the rooms with a 2-1 advantage. It's been an interesting first half. It's been a good first half. We'll get the thoughts of Pakua Frimpong and Taryn Heddo to take us in. Pakua, what did you make of the opening 45?
Well, it was certainly interesting seeing the sides line up, and you saw Tiff Eliada starting at centre-back. You're going, what's going on here? She's been so good up front for Bulleen since she's returned back to the squad, and it proved to be a really big part because that first goal it looked like Bulleen just weren't coordinated defensively, and then as the half went on, Caitlin Friend made the decision, Tiff Elias, I'm going to need you in the midfield. I'm going to put Alana Byrne into the centre of defence, and that really changed it up. It opened it up, and it made Preston have to really think about what they were going to do in that midfield battle, how they were going to match up, and it allowed Elias to get forward and just to free Bulleen up, and I think that's what's really changed this game for Bulleen. That's why they go into half-time 2-1 leaders.
Well, Caitlin Friend making the adjustment, and if there's a player to make the adjustments with, it's Tiff Elias, a legend of the Victorian game. Taryn, what did you make of the opening 45?
Yeah, look, she certainly is, and it's been a game that's been back and forth. It's befitting of a cup final, befitting of the occasion. I think we've seen those little tactical tweaks already. As Pakua said, Preston came on the front foot. They were the team that took the early lead and then maybe just got a little bit passive. We're seeing the little chess pieces moving around the board already. So it'll be very fascinating to see what happens and what changes, both personnel and tactical-wise, are made in the second half.
Well, Sarah, the pawns have been deployed. We're getting the rooks, we're getting the kings, the bishops are moving out around now. What moves are you looking for in the second half?
Well, you have to control the centre. If we're gonna continue a chess analogy, very, very important. I think, again, Preston, I think they got that goal and maybe it got into their heads a little bit. I don't think it happened straight away. And I think that there was a clear plan to let Bulleen have space. But what that meant was it allowed the likes of Eliadis and Bullich and Byrne to take that space. And what ended up happening was you had Preston players completely behind the ball, Bulleen players, every single player deployed in an attacking sense, and it was creating overloads time and time again. You can understand why Preston were maybe wanting to take advantage in transition, but I do think that they need to get themselves back on the front foot. They're a goal behind now. They're chasing this game. I think that's going to be the key to the second half.
Well, Taryn, we'll let you get back up to your commentary position now, but Pakua, you talked before this game about the potential that Preston needed to come out really strong, and they did. Goal in the opening 5 minutes, but then they fell behind. Are you expecting them to come out all guns a-blazing again in the second half?
They have to, because that is their game. I think that sometimes teams are at risk of going away from themselves once they're a goal up, and I think that's what happened to Preston in this game, like Taryn has mentioned. I think they have to start this second half really aggressive on the front foot and put the challenge to Bulleen once again. And for Bulleen as well, they have to take the control of the game from the outset in this second half and just dictate the play. They're 2-1 up, and they're such a great side when they are on the front foot and they're leading a game. It's really, really hard to chase them down.
We saw just before half-time, Maya Markowski, she looked to cop a knock. We know she's had injury struggles throughout this season. If she can't go the rest of the game, how does Bulleen respond to that?
I think they've actually set up in a way that they can respond because they've played in recent weeks without Markowski. I think you'd see Eliadis head up a little bit further, and they've still got the likes of Lourdes Gonzalez on the bench. She's such an influential passer of the ball, and she can score as well. So she's somebody who could come on, but I feel like Maya Markowski, she's feeling the swagger, she's feeling good about her game, and I think we're going to see her in the second half.
Well, we're seeing the Bulleen players coming onto the pitch, so action not too far away, but because we also talked at the start of this game, Bulleen have been in these cup finals before, and they've lost. With the pressure of this, with a lead in tow, how do you think they'll respond?
I think they're going to respond really well, because I spoke on the call about after the first goal was conceded, how do they respond? What's the character? What are the players who've been in their position? How do they respond? And they've responded well. They've responded assertively, and they've got themselves a goal up. And I think that now they're in front, finally, in a finals game, they're going to feel like they can control this game till the end of the 90.
Okay, well, cool. We'll let you get back to your position now as the teams are coming out. Just one sentence. Who wins this game? Who's best on ground?
Because with the way the game's sitting, I'm going to go with Bulleen to finish this game out.
Best on?
Best on. Tiff Eliadis has been really good. I think she's changed this game.
Well, it's Pakua Frimpong there. Be sure to stick around for what will be a fantastic second half.
Well, the teams are back on the pitch for the second half. Bakul Frimpong and myself, Taran Haddo, are back in the commentary position after the halftime show. It is currently Preston who find themselves behind.
They've
2
got us
goals
working
to
out,
1 for Bulleen.
I'm sorry, they've got us working out the run back here, but no, it is Bulleen leading at 2-1, and they ended that first half really, really well.
It is Preston who will get us back underway. Mebe Tanaka, the Japanese player. So much firepower in this Preston Lions side. Can they make it count as they chase the game in this Nike FC Cup final? Here come Bulleen straight away. The pace of Cordellino. And Cordellino not able to win the corner on that occasion. But that is another example of what Bulleen can do. I mean, we saw Cordellino scoring that goal in the first half. Little pocket rocket, as Joey Lynch described her at halftime.
And we actually haven't seen her at her best in this game either. She scored that goal, but we still haven't seen her flex her muscle out there on the wing. So if they could unlock that again, Bulleen, one step closer to lifting that trophy.
Ramsey not able to play it around Roger, so it'll be a Bulleen throw. Markowski back on the pitch after that little bit of a scare towards the end of the first half. She's all okay. And we'll continue. Young not able to get it around Henderson. Nishimura playing it forward. Wonder if we'll see a slightly different approach from one or both coaches in this second half. Preston perhaps looking to sit a little bit higher by default. They were sat very deep in that first half. You wonder if it was a response to taking the lead early, or whether that was the game plan from minute one. Regardless, they are the team that have to take this game by the scruff of the neck now. They are the team chasing the game. The ball seemed comfortably out of play by Aroha Little. Preston not able to win the ball. Eliadis, who started the game at centre-back, of course, that was such a talking point during the half and at half-time as well. She's winning the ball back in midfield. Even right now, the furthest forward Bulleen player. So it's been quite a positional shift. I mean, Eliadis has become known in her career for being so flexible, for being able to play anywhere on the pitch, really. Maybe except goalkeeper. I don't think she's quite tall enough for that.
Well, maybe Marcossi's got that sorted if they need a goalkeeper.
Absolutely. Here come Preston, though. Ball in towards the back post. Johnson playing it down into the path of Tanaka. And a shot from Nishimura from the edge of the area requires a fantastic save from Hudson. But now we have trouble in back play because Ellie Lamont looks to be in a world of pain after putting that ball in. Well, first we'll take a look at the replay of this opportunity. Nishimura can hit them from that sort of range. A fantastic save from Hudson. But before this corner can be taken, Preston will be sweating on the fitness of one of their superstars.
Ellie Lamont has had a incredible season, and you know what she can do for this side. And if they go off, it's just not the way you want to start this second half. If you're Preston, Preston needs to be aggressive, and Lamont is such a big part of that. hopefully it's nothing serious and it's just one of those ones where you can put the magic spray on, but we'll have to wait and see.
Nishimura, almost scoring moments ago, delivers the corner in. Markovsky heads it away. Von Songkamp, one way then the other. Susan von Songkamp still going, wins the ball, a low cross. And Tanaka's shot is blocked. Fantastic defensive effort by Bulleen. It was Mila Bulic who was the player who made the block. You'd imagine a goal-saving one.
Absolutely. Mila Bulic with FV emerging last year, but stepping into, in a sense, the big leagues with Bulleen, a title contending side, and she's risen to that challenge this season, has grown so much as a defender. That's why she's one of the best defenders in Victoria, if not the country.
Von Songkamp driving into this space. Susan von Songkamp into the box now, low cross again. Lamont back on her feet and back contesting that ball. Meeks and Checker playing it amongst themselves. Ramsey. Well, it was Molly Mae Ramsey, in fact, who was contesting that ball, but Lamont is indeed back on her feet and is currently the player standing on the last Bulleen defender. Will be relying on her pace to try and get in behind this Bulleen defence.
If you're Dan Foden, you half-time surely would have spoken to the likes of Maybay Tanaka and said, I need more from you. I need a little bit more.
Ball in, Lamont hooking it over the top. Over the crossbar. Inventive work from Ramsey to play it into Lamont. Couldn't hit the target.
She's still holding that right knee, Ellie Lamont, and got knocked down again by Mila Bulic. See how long she can withstand it.
Eliadis winning the ball in midfield. Markovsky. Markovsky still on the ball. Von Songkamp is the player to intercept, and now the pace of Preston in transition making itself known. Von Songkamp shoots herself. Well, she'll be disappointed with that effort.
And if you see the Von Songkamp, you've got to ask, where are my teammates? She was looking for the pass. She didn't want to shoot from long range and was forced to. Needed some other teammates to be there in support.
Markovsky. Checker. Able to clear it out for Preston. Well, we'll see our first substitution of this afternoon. It's Rosie Roger, the scorer of that first goal, making way for Bulleen for Caitlin O'Brien coming on the pitch. The 23-year-old, part of the Calder United side that won the Nike FC Cup in 2018 and 2019.
What an interesting season Caitlin O'Brien's had. She spent much of the time recently playing at fullback and now replacing Rosie Roger, and she's lined up front, so I'm assuming she's going to be just a like-for-like replacement.
Markovsky. Aldeary trying to work her way up the line. Bulleen appeals for a foul, but play continues. Markovsky. And eventually, the foul is given and a yellow card produced. The first one against Preston. And a checker is the player culpable for that offence. Think there was much in that one, Pakua?
Don't think there was too much in it, but you know, the afters always add a little bit more to it.
Now both sides with centre-backs on yellow cards. Of course, I want to burn for Bulleen, one of those players. Now Emma Checker as well. So a set-piece opportunity for Bulleen. Wouldn't they love to extend their lead in this second half? Dangerous ball delivered in. Harry Horrison has come for it and manages to punch away. Lamont was there to make sure that the ball was seen out for a throw. Well, we'll take this opportunity now. Just a brief stoppage in play to throw for the first time this afternoon down to the sideline with Joey Lynch. Joey, you've been down there absorbing all of the atmosphere in the game. What have been the messages from the coaches at halftime?
Well, yes, you can really feel the tension down here in the second half as the two teams go at it. Dan Foden, well, to be honest, I don't think Preston coach Dan Foden has actually sat down the entire contest. He's been prowling his technical area, barking instructions. Coach Caitlin Friend, she has emerged, but for the most part, she has remained sat alongside her coaching staff in the dugouts, providing only the occasional instruction from there. So, a bit of a differences in approach from both coaches, and we'll see how that works out as the half goes on. Also interested to see Surface is able to, well, continue to play well. It's seen a bit of football in recent weeks. We had the Dotty final here yesterday. Australia Cup action midweek. It's a hard surface. It's one that can be tough to dribble on. So interested to see how it holds up as well.
Well, thank you so much for that, Joey, as we return to live play. It's Bulleen looking to extend their lead. That ball cut out, though, by the Preston defence. Lamont going to ground and frustration now building. Still plenty of time to get back into the game for Preston, but with every opportunity that passes, they'll be aware that it is one less chance that they have. Johnson, von Sonkamp, trying to slip in a ball in behind to Lamont. It's intercepted high by Tanaka. The Preston fans in the crowd adamant that should have been a foul. She's down on her haunches, slowly getting back to her feet. Ramsey. No throw. Not able to hit the target of von Sonkamp.
This is exactly the kind of pattern that Bulleen would like to have in this game. Just not feeling rushed, just allowing to play at their own speed, and particularly in the second half now, after, you know, ensuring they had the lead at half-time.
Well, it was great work from Harrington to intercept and allowing Preston an opportunity to break forward. Weren't able to take advantage that time. Markovsky, plenty of strapping on those legs, trying to keep her fully fit for this game and for the rest of the season as well. Cordolino turning away from Harrington. Still Cordolino, got the touch to get around, but he's seen out well by the 23-year-old from Preston. Originally from Bendigo is Eva Harrington. One of a number of players actually in this game from Bendigo. Seems to be a fruitful football breeding ground at the moment for this generation of NPL players. There's the ball over the top, searching for the pace of Lamont. Lamont can't get there. Alana Byrne does the work in defence. On a yellow card, of course, Byrne.
Got to give a lot of credit to Alana Byrne. Started this game in the midfield and they had to make the change, Bulleen, but since going to play at centre back with Miller Bullitt, she's done a fantastic job.
Oh, danger here, Tanaka. Well, that was a crucial touch. And then the sliding challenge from Henderson will earn herself a yellow card. She went in far too wildly and far too late there. But that touch again from Byrne prevented Tanaka from having what would have been a pretty clear-sighted goal.
Quite a slight touch. Honestly, I mentioned that she's feeling good about, she's been playing well, and she certainly was feeling that with that little bit ambitious attempt. But that slight touch just put it out of the way and ensured that Bulleen were able to recover defensively.
With 30 minutes to go in this contest, the score's still 2-1. And it was at half-time. Of course, Preston taking that early lead, that penalty to Susan Fonsonkamp. And then Bulleen coming back with 2 goals. That's given them the lead now. Is where we stand currently. Great work from O'Brien. Try and nip in and win that ball there. Ramsey. Miliatis, heavy touch. Great work there from Yuka Sasso to play that back to Hudson and clear it away because she was under an enormous amount of pressure, and I imagine that's what we'll see for a lot of the remainder of this game as long as the scoreline stays as it is at 2-1. It is Preston who are the team chasing this equaliser. We're going to be seeing a lot of that high press, a lot of that pressure, and certainly a lot for Bulleen to deal with.
Since that midfield battle has just gone in the way of Bulleen in their first half, Preston have really struggled to regain control. So I want to see what Dan Foden chooses to do to win that battle again. They've got the likes of Summer Caponetta. She's very young, but she's an excellent player going forward. So will he elect to bring a player like her on to try to change this game up? Because it's interesting to see what kind of substitutions he does, Dan Foden, to just kind of spark some energy with his side. They're just a little bit, this game's gotten a little bit of a lull at the moment.
Ramsey, nice little 1-2 with Henderson. Molly May Ramsey's ball in. Well, the first attempt at clearing didn't quite go to plan from Bullich eventually. She got it right. Susan Fonsonkamp, can she keep it in? She does, and it's fallen to the foot of Lamont, and somehow it has come off a defender into the gloves of Erin Hudson. That would have been something spectacular. Firstly, Fonsonkamp keeping it in. That is so lucky for Bulleen.
That's come off Ara a little. I think referee's been given a benefit of doubt and said it's come off her shoulder.
A shot from distance, comfortably dealt with.
But Dan Foden and his coaching staff certainly thought it came off the arm. On the replay, it's quite close, and obviously the line is, it's not right up there, right at the shoulder, where the shoulder meets the arm, but it's very close. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, one of the things that referees have been focusing on with handballs this season is your arm in a natural position next to your body, and I guess in that case as well, the ruling would have been that her arm was right next to her, although on that occasion I'm not sure that was the case. Meanwhile, play continues. Preston! They get their equaliser, but there is an offside flag on this side. Hayley Johnson was the player who got the final touch. The referees will convene. This could be a huge decision in this Nike FC Cup final.
The flag went up right away. Preston celebrated, and I've got to be honest, if you're Erin Hudson, you've got to be a little bit disappointed if this goal stands that you didn't save that effort. And it's offside. That goal doesn't stand. It's offside.
Well, Preston are devastated here. Eliadis applauding the decision, of course, from Bulleen's perspective. Let's take a look at this again.
And I think she may have just slightly been off. I think that the position of Leah Muldeary is just behind, but then you're looking, is Alana Byrne keeping her on? I'm not quite sure. That is a very tight call. The lineswoman has certainly got a better vantage point than we do. That is, wow.
Well, Dan Foden, the Preston Lions coach, is ropeable on the touchline.
He certainly would be, because he almost wasted a celebration. He's done the Jose Mourinho going down the touchline. The fist bumps were going, and it's been called back. But that is a very, very tight call. It'd be interesting to see. We've got some people standing right there. Got to ask and see what their thoughts are.
Well, it's an interesting one, because play continued after that first. I mean, it could have been called a handball to begin with, and then play continued. Johnson's gotten there. She's been called marginally offside by the assistant referee. That is a moment that will be replayed over and over again if Preston cannot find this equalizer. For all that people will debate that decision, the play goes on. Bulleen, they can score another here and put them in a fantastic position. Preston, though, that'll give them a burst of confidence and perhaps a bit of that righteous indignation. That bit of, we should be level. But we'll see a couple more substitutions from Bulleen to try and stymie that feeling, perhaps. So it'll be Lourdes Gonzalez, the player, coming on the pitch. She replaces Yuka Sato.
And Lourdes Gonzalez spoken about a few times, that range of passing. She's a goal-scoring threat. Just another player to mention. But for this Preston Lions side, will that goal spur them on to continue disallowed goal spur them on to continue pushing for another goal, or will it make them just go a little bit more negative, go, this game is not going to be with us today? But this game is I was on a knife edge, that's for sure, Taryn.
Gonzalez straight into the action, looking to play in Cordolino. Ray Horrison will come and collect. And suddenly the tension has just been ratcheted up a notch. Again, it's a good time to make a substitution from Caitlin Friend, because she's just saying, calm down. We're still in the lead. We're still in control. Let's not let the emotions of that moment get to us. There's Preston, though, on the charge again. Tanaka, she's got options in the middle if she can find them. It's cut out well by Byrne.
Preston side thrive off chaos, Tarrant. They thrive off it. This game's got a little bit more chaotic and ratcheted up, as you've said. Is it going to just inspire this side to continue pushing? And we're seeing Tanaka need more from her. She's such an incredible player with the ball at her feet. I need more from Miri Nishimura if you're Dan Foden. But more of what you're seeing. More of what you're seeing. These guys continue to not back down.
It's a long goal kick from Hudson, and it's beaten Eva Harrington. So it gives Cordolino an opportunity to get in behind. Nishimura's come a long way back to cut off that pass. Von Songkham getting involved defensively, winning the ball as well. And now Cordolino, Miatis. Well, it's a heavy touch, but that is a dangerous combination on that side.
It really is. And Cordolino's ability to just work off other forwards and midfielders is just something that's improved in her game this season. And Tiff Eliade is such an experienced player. That's the perfect combination you're after.
Checker taking the goal kick. Interesting decision. Long ball forward. Finding Tanaka. Mebe Tanaka unleashes. Straight out Hudson.
Turned arrow a little inside and out, and looked like she had just got the inside track, but Just that effort, ultimately, just straight on.
Gonzalez. Oh, a lovely ball in behind Mebe Tanaka. She's got Alana Byrne to beat. She'll play that wide to Lamont instead. Ellie Lamont assessing her options. Goes central Henderson. Trying to hook it back. Can't do so. Lamont takes on the strike, ambitious. And it'll trickle out of play. Oh, Preston Lions making a move now. Dan Foden. First substitution for him of the afternoon. It's Jade Feeks, who's the player who's being withdrawn. And El Talevski, who won the Nike Cup last year with Calder United, knows what it takes to win this competition, enters the field of play, the 22-year-old.
She can score, El Talevski. She can get involved. So, working his way from back to front, Dan Foden.
Markovski trying to get around Nishimura. Well, as the ball goes out of play there, now's a great time to head down to Joey Lynch on the sideline. Joey, you had a front row view to that explosion of emotion from the Preston bench after the disallowed goal. What can you tell us about the atmosphere down there? Emma Checker with the ball for Preston. Lamont. Nice touch. Talevski, the substitute. What kind of difference can she make to get her side back in this contest? Von Sonkam trying to strike, can't do so. And Eliades, this is going to be the danger now in transition. Cordolino, look at the pace of Alana Cordolino, turning one way and then the other. Just missing the frame of goal, Alana Cordolino. Up against a 7-time Matilda, Emma Checker, and made her look amateur. What a fantastic run.
That's Alana Cordolino will do it to anybody. Absolutely anybody. She did all the right things, twisting and turning. Emma Checker didn't know which way to look and just overshot that a little bit in the end. But wow, Alana Cordolino, geez, maybe she's trying to get in the pretzel business.
That's fantastic for sure. That is a good one.
Thank you very much. I really do enjoy pretzels. If Alana Cordolino did open up a pretzel business, I'd be first through the door.
Oh, Preston. They're the team that are desperate to create a pretzel business of their own here. Doesn't matter who, because they're the team that are trailing. They need to score the goal. It is Checker who will take the free kick.
And, Taryn, the Preston men have been known to score late winners throughout their time. And can that sort of legacy travel throughout this club? Can this Preston Lions women's side get an equalising goal?
Well, in the first half, the goal that was scored by Rosie Roger after the free kick of Maya Markovski, the free kick was about in this exact spot in this pitch. Preston will be hoping for their sake that this is a magical spot. Miri Nishimura, we know how good she is on set pieces. She will be the player tasked with lining this shot up. A fantastic opportunity for Preston to level things up. Players in the box too. The 25-year-old Miri Nishimura. Nishimura always rising. Bulleen escape that free kick. They'll have a goal kick and they'll be able to slowly play things out to keep possession, to continue to control the game. That is just how they want it at this stage. Ball played into midfield. Ishimura involved. Johnson. Henderson. Finds Lamont. It's great work from Lamont to get back and keep that ball in play. Another couple of substitutions now for Bulleen. So Alana Cordolino, goal scorer, player making way for 17-year-old Nia Saleh. Such an exciting talent, Nia Saleh. She's represented Australia's youth national teams, scored 2 goals in the Nike Cup. The second substitution is Jess Young, coming off the pitch, Kaylin Storey. 120 appearances of NPL experience, countless more in the Nike Cup as well. Formerly of clubs like Alamein, Bayside and Box Hill as well.
And Caitlin Friend opting to go with Caitlin Storey, and as you mentioned, a very experienced player in the midfield, and just to hold out for this rest of this game.
Markovski. Now wide to Saleh, cuts it inside to Lourdes Gonzalez, who makes it 3 for Bulleen. The celebration matching the moment, matching the occasion. Is that the goal that breaks Bulleen's grand final curse? It's 3-1 now to Bulleen.
It's 3-1 now, Taryn. It's what I mentioned, Lourdes Gonzalez. She's such an influential player. She has those capabilities, those qualities, and when she gets on the ball, she is not going to miss. What a fantastic strike on goal. Markovski with a brilliant run. Nia Saleh coming into this FC Bulleen side this season has been phenomenal all year round. And what a great team goal on the counter. That is a typical FC Bulleen Lions goal, and it may just be enough to hold out this Preston Lions side.
That may well have been Saleh's first touch as well. A phenomenal contribution.
She is such an impressive young player. I've seen her play so many times this season, and she just has that killer instinct.
Well, they've got to go for it now, Preston. All guns blazing. Here's Henderson with the strike. Well, that is one way to respond. Georgia Henderson from downtown. And Preston are right back in this game.
Just as we were praising the FC Bulleen Lions, Georgia Henderson, I said you maybe didn't want her in front of goal. Who cares? Don't listen to me. I don't know ball. Georgia Henderson, what a strike. And that is what we want from a Nike FC Cup final, Taryn.
Wow. What a couple of minutes in this final, Preston. They are not giving up this game. It seems like Bulleen had one hand on the trophy and Preston have said absolutely not. They've put their hands back on it. They are not letting go of this match. Well,
you know what, Taryn? Georgia Henderson, I don't want you 5 metres out in front of goal. Only from beyond the box. We only score worldies if you're Georgia Henderson. What a strike, Taryn.
Preston, they'll go again. They have no choice.
But if you are Bulleen, this is a really important part of the game. You have to wrestle control of this game back. You cannot allow this game to get any more chaotic because it will feed into what Preston do well. You have to regain control. You have to slow the tempo down, and you have to just get a few passes together, because if you allow it to continue to be chaotic, before you know it, Preston Lions are going to be 3-3 in this contest.
Well, here we go. Preston will push forward with everything in these last 10 minutes or so. Von Songkamp, the left boot, not able to get past Storey. Another substitute for Bulleen. And Macheka will be the player in charge of switching play, in charge of getting the ball to the players when it needs to. Oh, a sharp interception there from defence for Bulleen. There's Alana Byrne again. And it allows Bulleen to attack on the counter. Markovski out to Saleh. Nia Saleh goes one way, then the other. Trying to get around Checker in the end. Markovski will be the one to take the strike. Sharp by Ray Horrison. Oh my goodness, this game has completely exploded into life now.
Absolutely, but if you are Preston, you've got to keep going. You've got to stay persistent. You have got to continue exactly what you have been doing to get yourself back into this contest. And what can they create?
Molly May Ramsey being pressured by O'Brien. All the way back to Fonsong Camp. You wonder if we'll see Fonsong Camp starting a little bit higher because she's playing a little bit deeper in this side. And you can understand why. You can use her pace, and she's a very technical player. But as they chase this final goal to equalise.
She's scored a few match winners before, Taryn. She's a Fonsong Camp?
Absolutely, she has. At NPL New South Wales level, at NPL Victoria level, at A-League Women's level.
And those are those sorts of players that you've got to rely on right now, Preston. Got to rely on Emma Checker, her voice from the back line. How can she organise this team? Susan Fonsonkamp, how can you do it? And now you're seeing Checker.
Well, it's Molly May Ramsey, in fact, who has made way for Preston. I believe it's number 11, Ellie Vlamink, who's coming on to the pitch. So an attacking change from Dan Foden as that ball is delivered in and headed away. Oh, dangerous again. Johnson is just lurking in that area. Vlamink, fresh off the bench. Nishimura. Now wide. The offside flag will deny Lamont the opportunity to play that ball in. The Preston fans in the crowd showing their displeasure. Markovski. Johnson winning out for Preston, and now that long ball trying to release Lamont. Well, it's another fantastic opportunity now to throw to Joey Lynch on the sideline, who's been watching these substitutions happen, who's been watching that minute of madness. Joey, what can you tell us about what's going on down there?
Well, minute of madness. I went deaf in my right ear when Bulleen scored and their bench exploded, and then I went deaf in my left ear when Preston did the other a minute later. But Preston, well and truly, have extra time on their minds right now. Coach Dan Foden just coming across and just getting word from the fourth official. What are my subs options? Do I get an extra sub if this game goes to extra time? So he's already planning for this game to go 120 minutes.
Well, thanks for that one, Joey, and indeed, from Preston's perspective, they'll be hoping to get the equaliser, to send it to extra time. Of course, if they can get two, that would be an added bonus. Bulleen looking to shore up this win or perhaps score another. It's incredibly tense now. Of course, normally Cup games played midweek. This game, it is Nike FC Cup final weekend, so they've had their week of rest. They should be fresh, but both teams have given everything to this game already. There's still 6 minutes plus injury time to go.
Absolutely, Taryn. And both sides here. I see May Markowski going to the corner flag. I do not like any bit of this. It's far too early for this. I'm not a fan at all. But got to say, though, for Bulleen at the moment, Alana Burns spoke in the Nike FC Cup preview podcast about how much it would mean to this side to win. So there might be tears because they've worked so hard. Can they hold out? They need to be strong here, Bulleen. This is where their character is tested. What are these players going to do? How are they going to stand up? Are they going to play through, or are they going to try and hold on? And if you try and hold on, God, it's going to be some tense 5 minutes.
Absolutely, Pakua. At the moment, they'll be more than happy to keep the ball to this corner of the pitch. This is the money corner for Bulleen, but Preston have managed to get it away to Naka, though not able to get that under control, and so Byrne can gather. They'll go to the other corner, Salek. Good touch from the youngster, trying to play in Storey. And Storey with the cross. Henderson is there to clear. She probably had more time than she realised there. Henderson could have taken the ball herself. Instead, she's tried to clear it wide. As the chants of Macedonia ring out around the home of the Matildas, we'll see another substitution for Preston. Eva Harrington is the player withdrawn. 16-year-old Lani Giudice, Preston junior, who has never scored a senior Preston goal. Well, wouldn't today be the perfect time for it? She's the player entrusted by Dan Foden to attempt to help Preston get this goal that they need. But Bulleen, they're closing the trap now. They are doing their best to hem Preston in.
And Preston, they need to fight through. And if you're Dan Foden, I understand that he wants to play. He wants to obviously get to extra time, and that's what's on his mind. But you got to score to get there first. And you know, even though you've got to think about all the permutations, if you were to score, how your team looks, if you make those substitutions, you've got to be bold and bring on aggressive attacking players, because otherwise this game is over and you're not going to get that extra time and the chance to make up.
Von Sonkamp. Lamont trying to square it. Will only come out to Gonzalez. Markovsky now will try to use all of her strength to maintain possession with Bulleen. Well, it's Bulleen Lions in the lead as we approach the end of regulation time of the Nike FC Cup final. We should mention as well, the Community Cup was awarded before this game. Congratulations to Bandura United, who were the last remaining side not in the MPL in the Nike FC Cup. So they were awarded with that trophy before the game. Of course, they were defeated by Preston in the semi-final. Preston had plenty of opportunities in that game, and I tell you what, they'll be hoping for some of those in the last few minutes or so, because they're going to need something as the clock slowly gets away from them. Bulleen, at the moment, are playing this out like professionals.
They are playing out like professionals, and that's why players like Caitlin Storey, Tiffany Eliadis, really important, calm this side in the centre of the park, dictate the play, and they've managed to just turn the temperature just a little bit down from that instant burst of 2 goals in a matter of moments. But right now, what can Dan Foden inspire from his side? What can the players create for themselves?
Well, at this point, it's almost all hands on deck in an attacking sense. You've got to throw everyone up. Tolevsky, the player on the ball. And that pass, you could hear audibly the groan. It wasn't what she wanted. Von Sonkamp trying to close down Gonzalez. Gonzalez, that ball straight through to Ray Horizon. The 18-year-old goalkeeper, she's going to release quickly and long. That midfield battle. Tanaka drops deep to come and claim. Now a contest. Markovsky, the player to come away with it. She'll head to the corner. Well, clever now from Markovski. You could see that second where she thought about heading straight for goal. Instead, she's gone for the corner. It'll waste precious seconds. She's keeping the Preston players off her. This is the kind of play that is agony if you were a Preston fan, but it's what you have to do as a Bulleen player.
No, you have to. You have to take off as much time as possible. And when she was doing it 5 minutes ago, I wasn't a fan. Now I'm much more of a fan of this kind of play. But there's always a risk. You know, the moment you decide to turn off that switch and not play the way that's got you here, you will invite pressure onto yourself. And can Preston capitalise on that pressure?
Well, this is a huge moment. How many minutes will Preston have to save their Nike FC Cup dream? 4 minutes of added time.
You can see Dan Foden hustling to get that ball back in play. They need to be quick. They need to be aggressive.
Well, this is fast and loose now. They have to just throw there's nothing to lose. It doesn't matter if you lose 4-2. What matters is doing everything to try and get that goal, to make it 3-3, to take it to extra time.
4 minutes is a long time, but it's not enough time sometimes. So they just need to string a few passes together. They need to be strong. You cannot get bullied off the ball just like that happened then.
4 minutes stands between Bulleen Lions and Glory. 4 minutes between them and their first Nike FC Cup trophy since 2014. 4 minutes until they become the club to lift the Victorian State Women's Cup trophy in the 50th year of its existence. I mean, they'd be nervous out there, but Preston, they'll be nervous as well. They've got to find that extra gear, and that'll be what Coach Dan Foden is encouraging them to do. Hands on head. That's not great sign language from the coach. Markovski will try and chase that down and try and take it to the corner again. Kalevsky forced to play it out. Receiving word from the sideline that Caitlin Friend is actually coaching Bulleen's shape when Markovski takes it to the corner. It's something that they've practiced here, Bulleen. They know exactly where they need to be to try and wind down this clock, but Preston have it back. 2 minutes. And a yellow card as well, potentially for time wasting. Not exactly sure
Not quite
what
sure
happened there.
I'm so sorry about that, Baron. That throw in, you've got to be better at that. You've got to get it to the middle of the park, switch it. They need to switch it here, Preston.
Well, Eliadis has won it, and she'll take it to the corner as well. So Tiff Eliadis doing her best to wind down the seconds. They win another throw. Well, it's not the most enthralling to watch, but this is cup football. You have to try and get the win at all costs. And at the end of the day, the ends justifies the means. If Bulleen can hold on here into this 1-goal advantage, I'll be the team lifting that trophy.
They haven't been as good in the second half at all, Taryn, but they, in terms of their overall play, but they've done enough and they've scored when they needed to.
A free kick for Preston. 1 minute plus whatever the referee is generous enough to give Preston. The ball's found its way to Fonsong Cam. It's fantastic work from Muldiri. A captain's knock from her this afternoon.
That ball does not need to go down the line. It's got to go to one of the centre-backs to play it out the opposite side.
I've got to try and switch play, but Gonzalez in perfect position, and you wonder if this is a result of coaching. They practice this. They practice being up a goal in the dying minutes and what they would do. But here's Ellie Lamont, perhaps one last chance for Preston. Ellie Lamont goes to ground, appeals for a penalty. The Preston fans are rapturous at the home of the Matildas. The bench is up. But really, it didn't look like there was too much in it. And that might be the final opportunity that Preston have, because Markovski now is going to take this into the corner again. We've ticked past 4 minutes of added time. We are at the mercy of the referee. A huge cheer. And Bulleen Lions, they have held on. They are the Nike FC Cup winners. They have broken the 10-year curse in the Nike FC Cup winners for the first time since 2014 for them. Look what it means to these players. They fell just short last season, and now they will be the team to lift the trophy. For Preston, well, it was valiant. They scored first. They made it exciting at the end. That fantastic goal from Georgia Henderson, of course. But Bulleen just too strong, using all their smarts, keeping it in the corner. And it's Bulleen who have roared the loudest today.
It is Bulleen who have roared the loudest, Taryn. And for Preston, they will feel like maybe they were hard done by in certain moments. A goal disallowed, a penalty not awarded. But it doesn't matter, unfortunately. It is Bulleen who walk away with the trophy. For Preston, they fought hard in that second half. They did all they could to try and get themselves back in this game. So they certainly can be proud of their efforts. But in this game, FC Bulleen Lions, they rose up in the first half. They got the 2 goals. They took themselves into the halftime with the lead. And then Lourdes Gonzalez came on. Her substitutes combining, her and Nia Saleh, to make it 3-1. And then Georgia Henderson. Wow, what a strike. It'll be forgotten almost in this game, but so many chances.
Well, let's head straight down pitch side where Joey Lynch has one of the heroes for Bulleen, Tiff Eliadis.
Yeah, Maya Markovsky celebrating as well. They're giving out the sewer, but Tiff, you had a mammoth shift out there today, helping Bulleen finally get this cup final win. How does it feel?
Finally. I think it's one of those moments where it's like all week we were preparing and we knew it was going to be a battle. Preston did really well to score some bangers, so no, it was definitely a battle and it was definitely worth it, all the preparation, everything.
I mean, walk me through what you're feeling. You go up 3-1, it looks like it's safe, and then immediately they come back and make it 3-2. What are you feeling?
Honestly, when they scored that goal, I thought to myself, oh, this just feels like a mountain, you know? But good on the girls, our girls, they battled really hard, and I'm just so happy for them and proud, very proud.
I mean, what does it say about this team that they've had that history? They got another gut punch, but they saw it out and they got the win.
Yeah, before the game, Katie, gave us the rundown and we were like, look, we didn't make it last year, but we've got a new team now full of young guns, and I think the resilience showed on the pitch today.
You've been with Katie for a lot of football. This is her first ever cup final win as a coach. What's she going to be feeling right now?
I reckon she'll cry. I reckon she'll go home tears.
Should I try to make her cry in the interview? Or?
Yeah, I reckon you should.
Tiff Eliadis, congratulations.
Cheers.
An elated Tiff Eliadis down pitch side, and why wouldn't she be, Pakua? One of the changes that made such a huge difference in that first half was her move into midfield and into the attack, and she was so influential on proceedings.
She was absolutely influential, and it really opened the game up, and it made Preston have to just figure out what they were going to do in that midfield battle. And for large portions of the game, they didn't have the answers, and that's the reason why Bulleen were able to be 2-1 up and then 3-1 up in the end. And then ultimately, Georgia Henderson won a fantastic strike to make it 3-2. But I've got to say, for Dan Foden's side, they may feel hard done by maybe the referees or the outcome of this game, but they played exactly what they needed to do in the second half to try and get themselves to extra time. They should feel unbelievably proud of themselves. And obviously, these two sides are going to face off each other next week. And it's going to be important because Bulleen's still, fighting to be premiers. And then maybe we might see it in the grand final. That'd be nice.
Well, the victorious captain today, Leah Muldeary, really put in a captain's knock down there. Joey Lynch is with her on the pitch.
Well, Leah, 3-2, the cup final win for Bulleen. You're a cup final winning captain. How does it feel?
Honestly, I'm a bit speechless. I've been part of, I don't really know how many finals with Bulleen and not one, so to actually win it just feels amazing, and credit to the girls. I think everyone stuck around, put the effort in, right to the end. So, yeah, just super proud of all the girls.
You went up 3-1. Preston immediately come back and make it 3-2, but none of the players looked like they were panicking. They looked like they were still going through with the plan. Walk me through those last exchanges.
I think, we've had a bit of experience in the league where we've been goal up in the last 10 or so, so I think we've really worked on our game management. I don't think none of us were stressed. We just knew that we just had to keep the ball, just get into the corner and keep it, and we'd be fine.
Okay, I'll let you get over there for the presentation now, but Liam Muldeary, cup-winning captain for FC Bulleen Lions.
Thank you.
Just before we head down for the presentation, Pakua, Liam Muldeary, what did you make of her performance? She's a Melbourne City player in the past. She made 4 appearances for them back in 2020. She was absolutely fantastic out there today.
She's phenomenal. Liam Muldeary, the epitome of consistency and leadership, and so congratulations to her to captaining this Bulleen side to a trophy that they've worked really, really hard for.
Well, let's head down to the pitch now for the presentation of the trophy to FC Bulleen Lions.
And for the 2024 Nike FC Cup Final, the 12th edition of this competition. We begin by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people as the traditional owners of the land that we gather and meet upon today. We pay our respects to elders past and present and any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that are present with us today. We acknowledge the spiritual connection to the Bunurong people have to the land, water, skies and country, along with their deep connection to community culture, traditions, aspirations, creations, knowledge and football. We're proud to walk together with Victoria's First Nations people on the journey to reconciliation. Thank you everyone for attending today's Nike FC Cup Final between the two Lions, the Preston Lions and FC Bulleen Lions. We'd also like to extend our gratitude to the entire football community, both clubs, administrators, players, coaches, match officials and volunteers for not only today but your ongoing contributions to grow the game in Victoria. We would also like to thank our major sponsor Nike for their support in bringing together this incredible day for women's football. We'd also like to thank our support partners in La Trobe University, the Victoria State Government, Vic Health, Senol, No Fuss Events, Love the Game and Ultra Football. The Victorian Multicultural Commission, MARTA and Pillar, for making today's event possible. And now for the presentations. Can we please welcome to the stage Football Victoria's Head of Referees, Tony Peart, to present the referees' medals. Starting with the 4th official, Angelique Mangione. Assistant referees, Nicoletta Sotiropoulos and Daphne Gunaris. And the referee, Courtney Van Diesen. I would like to now welcome Molly from Nike to present the Best on Ground medal in today's Nike FC Cup Final. Congratulations to Bulleen Lions, number 18, Tiffany Aliadis. to now welcome to the stage Football Victoria CEO Chris Pavelanis to hand out the runner-up medals to Preston Lions. Can I also please call up... Oh, and now I'll introduce all the players for Preston Lions. Summer Cabaneccia. Emma Checker. Lauren Farrugia. Jade Feeks. Rachel Giles. Lani Jadis. Eva Harrington. Charlotte Harrison. Hayley Johnson. Ali Lamonte. Miri Nishimura. Susan Fongsong Kim. Molly May Ramsey. Al Tavesky. Maybe Tanaka. Dakota Thyton. I would like to also now bring up Georgia Henderson for her medal and also to come say a few words on behalf of their team.
I'd just like to say a big thank you all for being here today. Your support means a lot to Preston Lions, and I'm sure Bulleen as well. Congratulations, you guys. You put up an absolute fight today, and congratulations and all the best for the rest of the season. Girls, I'm so proud of us and our team, even just to get this far in the competition. We were a new squad and we've just pulled it together pretty quickly and pretty well, and yeah, super proud of you lot, and watch us for the rest of the season because it's not the end of us, guys. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
And now to present the winners' medal, can we please welcome Football Victoria's Executive Manager of Diversity, Inclusion and Equity, Karen Pearce, to hand them out to FC Bulleen Lions. Number 12, Mila Bullich. Alana Byrne. Alana Cordolino. The player of the match, Tiffany Aliadis. Lourdes Gonzalez. Erin Hudson. Sasha Kozamara. Aurora Little. Maya Makovsky. Caitlin O'Brien. Rosie Roger. Nia Sella. Yuka Sato. Emily Shields. Caitlin Storey. Jessica Young. I'd like to now welcome up their captain, Liam Alderi, to receive a message and also speak a few words.
Firstly, I just want to say congratulations to Preston. You guys put out a great match. So yeah, congrats on coming runners-up in the Nike final. And all the best for the rest of the season as well. And to my girls, we won a Nike Cup final, finally. I'm so proud of everyone for putting in the hard work. We've worked so hard from the first day of pre-season, so to win a final, I think just everyone deserves it so much, so well done, girls. Thanks.
can I please welcome President of Football Victoria, Antonella Kerr, to present the trophy to the winning team.
Here today with the winning coach, Caitlin Friend of FC Bulleen Lions. And Caitlin, you told me just before we came on air how happy you were for this group. Why? Why are you so happy for this group?
This is my fourth final. We've lost 3 of them, and to get a win for these girls finally, it just means the world to the club. It means the world to the girls. I'm so happy they get to enjoy this moment because for me, they've earned it. They've really earned it.
Okay, happy with the girls. All right, forget the girls now. What does it mean for you? All right, you've been for those finals as well, okay? What does it mean for you?
Accepting the silver medals every single time is honestly heartbreaking. We've been such a consistent side every year, but to finally freaking win a final, I'm just so ecstatic, and it's definitely a little bit of a bucket list thing for me as a coach.
It's obvious how much this means to you, so with that in mind, you got 3-1, and then Preston immediately score an absolute worldie to make it 3-2. What do you looked pretty calm in the dugout. Were you feeling it?
Well, when Lou scored and then she came over, I thought, this is probably one of the best moments of my life because I think, we've got it, we can hold on for the next 5 minutes. And then they go score a worldie and it's like, it wouldn't be us if this isn't the way we do it, but they held on. We had that ball in the corner for like 10 minutes there, and I thought my subs came on and did a fantastic job for me. So kudos to the whole squad today.
Okay, but the season, it's not done. You are in chase of a premiership, and who knows after that, a title, a treble-winning season. I guess you've won the cup now. How do you not allow standards to drop? How do you make sure the players keep pushing, get the Premier's plate back-to-back, and then go out and win the grand final?
I know, we definitely enjoy tonight because it's been a long, long road, but we play Preston again next week in the league. I think if we win that match, we're probably good in terms of premiers. So it's a quick turnaround for us, but the girls know that there's a treble here to be won, and I think their focus is ready for the next game already.
Well, Caitlin Friends, the newly crowned winning coach of the Nike FC Cup. I bet that feels pretty sweet to hear.
It does.
Well, congratulations after a fantastic Nike FC Cup final. We'll now go back to Taron Heddo and Pakua Frimpong for our final thoughts.
Fantastic scenes as the Bulleen Lions lift the Nike FC Cup trophy. Their first win in this competition since 2014. Of course, Calder United have had such a stranglehold on this trophy, but now Bulleen can say that it is theirs. We'll take a look back at how this game unfolded. Pakua, it was Preston, of course, who scored first, but then Alana Cordolino got Bulleen back on level pegging.
She certainly did, and they needed that goal because the momentum just slightly shifted, but they needed something to consolidate all the effort they've been putting in. And I think this effort here from Maya Markowski is just such a microcosm of her season. Working hard in the off-season, and you continuing to persist and improve her game. And Alana Cordolino, that move from FE emerging, it's probably the right move in the end.
Well, she's come up and lifted a trophy. And how about this? The goal, it was Rosie Roger who was the player who tapped it in. But Maya Markovsky with the effort from the free kick, a stunning set piece.
A stunning set piece, absolutely. I think it ultimately goes to Roger, but Markovsky did all the work. She basically carried it the entire way, and she's been phenomenal this season, Maya Markovsky. And, you know, do what you got to do. And then Rosie Roger, you know what? Score a goal in a Nike FC Cup final as well.
And how about this? Two substitutes combining. Nia Saleh playing it in to Lourdes Gonzalez. That made it 3-1. And at that point, Bulleen, well, you heard Caitlin Friend on the broadcast before. They thought they were home and hosed.
I thought, me too, Taryn. It's over. Lourdes Gonzalez has done it. I tipped she was going to be a player that was influential. I was about to toot my own horn. It was over, and it was a fantastic finish. But Preston said, you know what, we're going to just add another little wrinkle.
Well, yes, then, of course, that stunning long-range strike from Georgia Henderson made it 3-2, but ultimately it wasn't enough. Bulleen Lions holding on and becoming 2024's Nike FC Cup champions. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. It has been an absolute pleasure to bring you this game between two absolutely fantastic teams. A huge thank you, of course, goes to Nike FC Cup, without whom this competition would not be possible. But from me, Taryn Heddo, and my co-commentator today, Pakua Frimpong, thank you so much for joining us. It ends here. Bulleen Lions 3, Preston Lions 2.